so small.
But they're so tiny and cute. I love elf owls. I love owls in
What's
general.
their
Owls are great.
personality?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking at pictures.
Anyways, an announcement. Hello, Danger Noodles. I actually will not be reading tonight because of a throat virus. It doesn't really have a name. It's minor, but it hurts for me to speak long periods of time. So Hatchet and Jury will pick up for me.
Holy fucking shit. This is perfect. Because Bright's such a loudmouth.
Oh my god.
The emerald tuckant. Look at that beak. This bird is 30% beak.
Oh my god.
What's the bird's personality?
I mean, I don't know how to look for their personalities. The emerald
Oh,
tuckant is a brightly marked and a large bill. Adults are 29 to 37 centimeters long, so they're small as well. That works. Sexes are alike in appearance. All species have plumage that is mainly green. Like, oh, and Bright's original model was green. Yeah, Wiki's not giving me much on personality-wise.
Just take him to
Oh wait, no,
Scientology.
there we are. Behavior, social behavior. The emerald tuckant is gregarious and frequently gathers in groups of up to about 10. Movement, non-migratory, feeding. The emerald tuckant forages by gleaning, usually while perched. Its diet is eclectic and includes a wide variety of nuts and vertebrates of many orders and vertebrate prey such as birds, eggs, lizards, and snakes.
Alright, sorry about that. But anyways, on to the stream at hand.
Ooh, ooh. Wikipedia is very good. The emerald tuckant's call is a nasal barking. Walk, 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 walk. It also makes a growling, throaty. I'm not good at bird sounds.
Why was Bookworms... Okay, I'm on Twitch mobile for the see Bookworms messages. Why was laugh my ass off profanity? I don't know
I guess
if
because ass.
but why is profanity blocker on?
Oh, it's a type of toucan. That explains the beak.
Yeah, anyways, who is reading 606 again?
I was gonna read it, but I'm very fixated
Oh my...
on trying to find ways
I'll
that this
read
bird
it.
is similar to you. Well, I mean, I can read it. I was gonna read it.
Yeah, alright.
I'll stop fixating on the tiny toucan.
Yeah, anyways, like I said before, well, this is before stream. This is the teacher. That's his nickname. The teacher.
Oh my god, the fucking name of the bird is toucanet because it's a tiny toucan. I was calling it a tuchet or tucket.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I hate myself. Anyway, SCP-606. Object class Euclid. Keter classification under review. Special containment procedures. 606 is currently housed of its own will in an unfurnished 6 millimeter by 25 millimeter. 6 millimeter? What the fuck is wrong with my brain? 20 meter by 25 meter by 8 meter cell at site redacted, the entrance to which is sealed by two 25 centimeter steel blast doors on either side of an airlock. No personnel are to enter 606's containment cell except under controlled testing circumstances or with authorization from a staff member of level 4 clearance or higher. Standard positive action defense. Standard positive action defenses, explosive, chemical, biological, and mimetic, are to be in place at all times according to the standard operating procedure. Due to 606's non corporeal nature, no reliable security measures in case of a containment breach have been developed at this time. In the event of such a breach, all personnel should refer to Plan ETA 6. Through use of a mobile remotely operated device, 606 is to be provided with an ordinary USB flash storage device containing no less than 2 megabytes of data every 12 hours. The data contained on the device is to be left to the discretion of 606's supervisor, but text from classic literature or encyclopedias, movie clips, or audio files of historical speeches are ideal. In an emergency situation, this may be sub- substituted with data in any form, such as print, compact discs, or videotapes. A careful record of all data provided to 606 must be kept. 606 should not be given repeated information except in an emergency situation. No material pertaining to the Foundation or other anomalous objects should be provided to 606 under any circumstances. Description: SCP-606 appears as a spherical mass of light, of variable size and intensity. Most commonly, it is approximately 85 centimeters in diameter and emits 220 220 candelas of luminosity, but has been observed to grow up to 10 meters in diameter and emit over 100,000 candelas. 606 has also been observed to shrink to 4 centimeters in diameter, emitting less than zero point 0.5 candela. Despite its ability to emit large amounts of light, 606 emits no heat. It does not appear to be composed of any form of matter and is able to pass through material barriers effortlessly. It is presently theorized that 606 is an entity composed purely of knowledge or information, and information obtained from 606 itself appears to corroborate this. Furthermore, 606 appears to derive sustenance from information, growing in both size and luminosity when provided with sources of information to its aforementioned maximum size, and shrinking when it is deprived of this. It is capable of feeding off a large number of different sources, including digital devices, books, magnetic tape, and living beings, which simply involves 606 surrounding the object. This process does not appear to affect its sources in any way. Digital media stored on flash drive is used in the maintenance of 606, so the specific details as well as approximate size of all information provided to 606 may be easily recorded. The specifications for 606's maintenance listed above have been formulated through both discussion with 606 and prolonged observation. 606 appears to hold a preference for classical literature, for example, and the given amount has been observed to keep 606 at its normal size and luminosity. 606 is sapient, apparently self aware of all knowledge it has gained over its existence, and capable of intelligent communication. It accomplishes this by producing pure sine wave tones through an unknown mechanism. This has been refined through teaching 606, a tone based language system of the Foundation's own invention, which all personnel of level 2 or above assigned to 606 are required to learn. If another sapient individual enters 606's containment cell, it will attempt to enlighten them, to use 606's own words. This involves 606 moving to surround the being's head, or similar equivalent. This results in generalized tonic-clonic epileptic seizures for a period of 30 seconds to 5 minutes, after which the individual lapses into a coma followed by death. EEG monitoring of affected individuals during this process has shown a massive increase in activity of all brain waves, particularly gamma and beta type waves. It is presently theorized that this is the result of 606 attempting to transfer all the information it has gathered to the individual's brain through an unknown process, despite the normal human brain being unable to sustain the stress of such a procedure. Results of interviews with 606 have been mixed, although it has previously deigned to answer some basic questions about itself and its history. Any more in depth questioning or questioning on the topics it possesses knowledge of invariably results in a request for 606 to enlighten the interviewer and a refusal to answer further questions. Requests made by 606 to refrain from attempting to enlighten without permission have been partially complied with. 606 no longer tries to enlighten every individual it comes into contact with, but it has still sporadically tried to perform the process without prompting. For this reason, access to 606's cell is restricted. 606 has. Oh man, I'm getting tired of saying 606. 606 was discovered by the Foundation on 6. That's June, I think. Yeah, that's June. Okay. Foundation on June the 11th, 19 redacted in redacted France after a rash of missing persons reports was brought to the Foundation's attention. Personnel subsequently managed to lure SCP-606 into a transport vehicle and transfer it to its current facility by offering it D-Class personnel to enlighten. Once its non-corporeal nature was discovered, 606 was asked why it did not attempt to evade capture. It replied that it wished to see what would occur. 606 is able to pass through all forms of matter. It presumably stays in Foundation custody of its own free will, perhaps due to the constant supply of information provided to it. 606-1. Complex communication with 606 has made possible, was made possible on February 4th, 2000, redacted, when DRS, is that supposed to be doctor? Or maybe or does that mean doctors? Yeah, probably. When doctors redacted and redacted. Okay, yeah. I've never seen uh that abbreviation before. Yeah. When doctors redacted and redacted completed their work on the aforementioned tone-based language, details of this language were transcribed into normal writing paper and left in 606's containment chamber. An excerpt from 606's first interview follows, conducted from a secured monitoring room over microphone. 606 is capable of understanding normal human speech, and thus Dr. Redacted's commentary is in English. Dr. Redacted, can you understand me? Yes. How did you learn to do this? Listen. Could you tell us what you are? I am the teacher. Could you be more specific? I am the teacher. I am a purveyor of knowledge. Enter this chamber, and I shall enlighten you. Dr. Redacted. Why am I suddenly saying Dr. Redacted? Yeah. I do not wish to do that at the moment. May I ask you some more questions? I provide answers. So, how old are you? I am as old as is necessary. Could you explain what you mean by that? The sounds you have taught me are limited. I may only enlighten you directly. How do you enlighten people? I teach them. Are you aware that this causes your students to die? I do not call it death. It is the consequence of being inadequate. What do you teach? I teach all that I have learned. Do you know who I am? You are that which calls itself a human. Your fellows refer to you as doctor. Do you know what a doctor is? It is your word for one who has been taught and teaches in your own fashion, at least. Can you teach me through talking to me? I wish to enlighten you. If you do not wish to be enlightened, I have no use for you. End log. At this point, 606 halted the interview and refused to answer further questions for some days after Dr. Redacted. Days from Dr. Redacted. Subsequent interviews have gained little more information of significance on 606 or the subjects it claims to know about. 606-2. After reviewing the reports on 606, in particular, reports on 606, in particular, experiment 606 redacted or redacted, I'm becoming increasingly suspicious that the deaths of its students are not accidental. The possibility that it has some malevolent purpose completely independent of its teaching cannot be discounted. Yes, everybody says that it's just trying to teach people, but all we know is that it causes them to kneel over and die. No solid evidence for it actually being what we think it has been uncovered. What it think it is has been uncovered. We don't even know any way of stopping this damn thing. Countermeasures research should be a top priority for Section Redacted, in collaboration with the 606 staff group. A Keter upgrade must be taken into consideration. Dr. Major.
Eh, And funny thing is, the creator of this SCP is modern Major General, so they put themselves in the story. Or not story,
Eh.
SCP. You see that from time to time.
Yeah.
Alright. Who's ready for the thumbnail?
Sure.
Define ready.
It's
Oh, geez,
honestly not as bad as you think.
a lot of pictures.
Yes, of the Akohe Kohe. It nests in trees. It's an asshole and territorial. And look how pretty it is and tiny.
Mm,
Yeah.
that is fair.
Yeah. Also, like I said, the thumbnail's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean,
It,
it's obviously not in its containment cell, but
Yeah.
I feel
for
like it deserves a 1, but that's it. Because it's kind of clickbaity to not have it in containment.
yeah, I guess we
Yeah.
don't know the circumstances of its like actual finding, like specifically where they found it, other than it being somewhere in France and having caused a bunch of missing person cases.
Yeah.
I'm positive they're doing that for the thumbnail very
Yeah.
specifically to get people to click it.
Yeah. I can see that. Alright. So let's first see. Oh, they put the license not exactly the same as on the wiki, but they did put the creator and SCP license. So
Okay. So
Yeah,
license is good.
we've been calling that good enough.
yeah.
They credited the author and provided the link. It's like for slop like this, that's about the best you can expect.
Yeah. Now watch how they butcher it.
I don't wanna.
Oh, by the way, apparently, if we go to here real quick, you can see how they started doing AI videos.
Yeah.
It was pretty much
The AI
looks.
looks very different than the SCP.
They pretty much look, it sounded like they sold it, and it looks like they stopped making videos not long after
Yeah.
they started, which makes sense. Just thought I would share that. Anyways, are you ready?
I
think
hope
I'm
I event
hungry.
I hope I eventually get the chance to play Doom the Dark Ages for stream.
Yeah. Sold out to the
Uh,
AI slot.
I don't know what it is about that statement that makes me viscerally uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, bookworm is the
Let
reason.
me try to see how it sounds.
Oh my god.
Akohe Kohe Aaron. Or Aaron Akohe Kohe.
Yeah, also, bookworm, there's two things I want to say to you, because you probably weren't here when I said it. This is the first time I'm streaming under the new name, as for one. And two, the reason why Jerry and Hatch are basically going to be reading tonight is because I got a throat virus. So, long reading's not good. I'm resting.
Yes.
Anyways, in 3, 2, 1.
Knowledge is power. But in the case of SCP-606, too much knowledge can mean death. Welcome back to SCP Exposed. Today, we bring you Euclid-class object SCP-606, also known as...
What is with all the fucking voice
I don't know why they
changers?
do it.
It's
I'm
like,
drinking the sour candy.
oh, Echo Spooky. When I say something spooky, I gotta add an echo.
Why did they put 606 randomly in a forest?
I don't
Is that
know.
where a teacher goes? No.
Well, I mean, some teachers maybe, if they
Okay.
wanna.
Teachers
Oh
of death?
god. Well, how
Maybe.
else are we gonna get away from the crimes? Anyways.
by just not being capturable.
Yeah. Also, just listen to saying SCP's number. I heard it and it just sounds awful. Ready?
No.
We bring you Euclid class object SCP-606, also known
There's two different. There's an echo and the demonic voice.
Yeah, I just. Why? Why? Oh, spooky echo. Ooh.
It's not a spooky echo, it's just really shitty recording.
Sorry. Anyways. Alright. Alright, in 3, 2, 1.
known as the Teacher. There have been requests made by Foundation personnel to raise 606's class to level Keter due to the potential threat it poses.
I hate this. Not only is the text not in the same font, they... Ugh.
Uh,
Ugh.
uh,
It looks like it looks like one of those caption shits. It's way
it's actually viscerally uncomfortable for an article to be made this way.
Yeah.
I'm very upset that they lazily bent it in a way where one side is mostly okay, except they forgot to warp a portion of the top part of the right side. But on the
Oh,
left
God.
side, they warped the left top side more than the very, very top of it. So instead of a straight angle that it should have, it's this weird, like, right
Either they had a severe misprint like a severe misprint, or the binding of this book is not doing well.
Also, if
Yeah.
you notice, like right next to the overly scrunched up parts of the top left area, there are also
Yeah.
spots where it's under scrunched.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Get this off the screen.
also, pretty much, look, they're not even talking about the SCP, like all the information that's supposed to be talked about. They're just putting it as a book that you see for a few seconds. This is starting off
I just-
great.
Why? Why, man? Why?
It's in 3, 2, 1.
However, this change in classification is still undergoing review. SCP-606 appears as a spherical mass of light of alternating size and intensity. Most commonly, it is approximately 85 centimeters in diameter and emits 220 candelas of luminosity, but has been observed to grow to up
Wait,
to
what?
10 meters in diameter.
What?
Did I hear them wrong?
Candelas of luminosity?
Oh, it didn't sound like luminosity to me. For some reason, it sounded like a very bad word.
For a second, I thought you got his measurement wrong, so I went back to the article.
It sounded like, I think I'll type out what it sounded like to me.
You don't want to say it.
Is it a bad word?
From
That was
now
only
on,
me.
that is how I'm going to pronounce luminosity.
No, no.
Right, are you fine with that being said on stream?
I don't care. It's too funny.
Illuminati.
Anyways, 3, 2, 1.
Emit over 100,000 candelas. The entity has also been observed to shrink to 4 centimeters in diameter, emitting less than 0.5 candela. Despite its ability to emit large amounts of light, SCP-606 emits no heat. It does not appear to be composed of any form of matter and is able to pass through material barriers effortlessly. Because of its ability to pass through any form of matter, researchers theorize that SCP-606 is currently contained in its chamber of its own free will. Why it remains here exactly is uncertain. When asked, SCP-606 claims that it wishes to see what may occur. What this means exactly is also uncertain. It is presently theorized.
Yeah, what's
How
wrong?
do you... This is so easy to not botch. Like,
It's literally there because it's curious.
it's there because it's curious, but the main thing is that it wished to see what would occur. That was about it being captured
Yeah,
and taken into containment. That
Yeah.
wasn't its response to why it is currently staying in containment. My head.
Anyways, 3, 2, 1.
that SCP-606 is an entity composed purely of knowledge or information. Furthermore, SCP-606 appears to derive sustenance from information, growing in both size and luminosity when provided with sources of information, as well as shrinking when it is deprived of information. It is capable of feeding off a large number of different sources, including digital devices, books, magnetic tape.
What is this?
What the fuck am I watching?
I don't know.
Just it's a constant stream of papers going into the void.
Wait, they're throwing SCP papers, like the
Oh,
people
for
in
fuck's
SCP.
sake.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Well, at the very least, the only person we see that they're giving information to it about is the giant floating baby head.
Wait, because of the way the text is, because the S is backwards, it most likely looks like PC2 instead of SCP. 'Cause the way it
Oh
is.
yeah, what? Why, man? This is... I just...
SCP is now PC2.
And like how like the thing to me is like you'd think that they did that because they're trying to flip like they're trying to keep the SCP logo intact, like the SC and P, except because of the way that they've formatted it, it also, like, even when it's like upside down, it looks like it's saying SCB. And upright, it's P backwards C. Wait, no, that's also a backwards P. Backwards P, backwards C, S. I. And also, it's never stated that what it, like, when it consumes knowledge, that it literally, like, absorbs the objects themselves.
Right.
It just surrounds them and hovers around them for a little bit and then derives sustenance from that activity.
You know what? I kind of want what this anomaly would think about, like, the strange theories on the internet, like how America was responsible for 9/11 and lizard men controlled the government and stuff like that. What do you think of that information?
I think we don't want to feed it that information. Although it would be interesting to see how susceptible it is to misinformation, but I doubt that's a
Yeah.
test that the SCP Foundation would want to do.
Yeah.
Because the last thing we need is to turn this thing into a stochastic terrorist.
3, 2, 1.
And living beings, which simply involves SCP-606 surrounding the object. This process does not appear to affect its sources in any way. Digital media stored on flash drives are used in the maintenance of SCP-606 by the Foundation. So the specific details as well as approximate size of the information provided to the entity may be easily recorded. SCP-606 is sapient, apparently self-aware.
What are these pictures?
Pictures of a spherical living ball of light.
One of them is not even a circle.
That's an onion. That's very clearly an onion.
They're doing their best to make it look like a ball of light. Kind of. Their best side.
Some of these pictures are pictures of the SCP. Others are pictures of some guy's shopping list. Some guy went to the grocery store and took arbitrary photos of onions, and those wound up in the SCP documents.
3, 2, 1.
Aware of all knowledge it has gained over its existence, and capable of intelligent communication. It accomplishes this by producing pure sine wave tones through an unknown mechanism.
Aren't these kind of waves invisible, I would think?
I mean, honestly, I have no idea.
Ah.
I would imagine they are, but I just don't know. I doubt that they would be on the visible light spectrum.
Yeah.
So probably not.
Yeah.
But then again, like artistic license has been used to like depict radiation. Like it's not the most egregious.
Okay, there's one thing I want to say before we click the video. Someone's come to say hello, Mr. Buster.
Very good.
He's jumped in my lap right now. Also,
Damn.
I'm not sure if everyone saw the final update. I know Bookworm couldn't see it because he's on Discord server anymore. But he's finally pooping normally again. He's no longer a
Yay.
sheep. No more.
Oh, it's a
But not.
Buster.
Yeah.
He's not constipated.
Mm.
He can poo.
Why do I want that as an alert from sound alerts?
Oh, it's Buster. He's not constipated. He can poo.
I didn't speak during that so that way it could be saved. Anyways.
The Foundation has thus formulated a tone-based language system to communicate with the entity. A language which all personnel of level 2 or above assigned to SCP-606 are required to learn. Through communication with the entity, the Foundation has learned that SCP-606...
Wait, hold on. What is wrong with his eyes? I can't tell if those are supposed to be glasses or eyes.
Those are glasses.
I couldn't tell because I don't see like the things around the ears.
Bright.
Yeah.
Look between the two. You'll see there is a
Ow.
black line that makes the glasses look broken, but like they're glasses. Technically,
also-
glasses don't bend that way.
And they're also resting like
Stabbing the nose, the bridge of the nose.
Well, I was gonna say they're resting like significantly above the nose. but
technically that's the bridge of the nose,
yeah, I
but if
guess,
you
yeah.
really look at it, it's stabbing the bridge of the nose.
Get your new glasses today. They never fall off because we screwed them into your skull.
No, no.
That imagine if that was actually like something that eye doctors did instead of like corrective lenses. Like, you know what? We're not going to, you know, surgically implant an artificial but better lens into your eye. We're just gonna screw glasses to your face.
If they
Honestly, with how lazy some optometrists are, I could see them wanting to do that. So it's a good thing that's illegal.
Yeah, and if one of the lenses breaks, well, sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck. Sorry, you don't have an eye anymore.
Anyway, let's continue.
Has learned that SCP-606 appears to hold a preference for classical literature, and the given amount has been observed to keep the entity at its normal size and luminosity. Despite the vast information it presumably contains, SCP-606 refuses to divulge this information in any interviews, unless it can enlighten individuals. However, O5 Command has forbidden anyone from accepting the entity's invitation to enlightenment due to past tragedies that have taken place as a result.
Force incident, big explosion, library incident.
Those never happened.
I like how there's two where it's just like, okay, they just were in a forest, they're in a library, big explosion.
They can literally just use the information from the file. Like the missing people in France, right?
Yeah.
But the people that basically suggests that there are a number of people who basically vanish altogether after being quote unquote taught.
Yeah, it's like, ah, they're going out of their way to add incidents, which like the only incident that could be being described here is the SCP trying to enlighten someone and them keeling over dead. Like that's the only incident they could be describing here. But
Yeah.
instead of those incidences, we get the force incident and the library incident. You know, when it was in the library, that it just decided to go over there. Probably at some point in the interim where we saw those very lovely cinematic shots of it randomly leaving the Foundation, and then for some reason the next shot it's still in the Foundation's care. Oh, big explosion too. Yeah, we all remember the day of big explosion. We all remember where we were when big explosion happened.
I hate them.
Anyways,
Ugh.
3, 2, 1.
If another sapient individual enters SCP-606's containment cell, it will attempt to enlighten them. This involves SCP-606 moving to surround the being's head. This results in generalized tonic-clonic epileptic seizures for a period of 30 seconds to 5 minutes, after which the individual lapses into a coma, followed by death. EEG monitoring of affected individuals during this process has shown a massive increase in activity of all brainwaves, particularly
What?
They're just adding information. Technically, we don't know what really happens besides practically instant death.
Yeah.
No, that was in the article.
What?
What, the brain suddenly having a lot of knowledge?
Let's see. Where was it exactly? Um, EEG monitoring of affected individuals during this process has shown a massive increase in activity of
Oh,
all
yeah,
brainwaves,
okay, that part is in there. Okay.
particularly gamma and beta type waves. They're doing it accurately, but we're so uh used to them just adding random bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
sorry.
It's easy to assume.
oh,
Yeah, you're good.
I can't unsee it. His arm is blending in with other parts of his body.
Oh, why'd you have
Guys,
to
you
point
have
it
to be
out?
used to this by now. This is not the worst glitch.
It's not the worst. Why'd you have to point it out? Because now it's gonna bug me. I would have been so much happier if I just didn't notice it.
Well, think of this. If you look on the hand, look at the smallest finger, and you'll notice it is technically not part of the hand.
The fucking.
It is not part of the hand. It's kind of like a second thumb.
His pinky's turned into another thumb.
Alright. 3, 2, 1.
Particularly gamma and beta type waves. It is presently theorized that this is the result of SCP-606 attempting to transfer all the information it has gathered to the individual's brain through an unknown process, despite the normal human brain being unable to sustain the stress of such a procedure. It is again uncertain whether these tragedies have arisen out of an accidental
I don't
action
think
on the
the
entity's
brain
part.
literally melts.
It doesn't. It's a really funny little image. The brain doesn't literally melt. It's just.
I mean, let's be fair, it might as well be literally melting, but it doesn't literally melt.
Yeah.
It's 3, 2.
We can, though, I guess we can chalk it up to artistic representation.
Oh my god. 3, 2, 1.
Or whether these deaths are actually purposeful and leads Foundation personnel to fear if SCP-6
You okay?
Go back! Go back! That
Are they
doctor!
trying to make a ball of light look like a predator?
I don't know. But just this image switching over to like his reaction to seeing someone die was just no chat rules. Okay, I got it. I know that chat rules. Fuck you. Is
Honestly, it's kind of
his
weird them showing
are
the
actually
guy
purposeful.
and the ball of light because the ball of light never forces people to learn. It
no, it
wants
does.
to, but it doesn't force them.
It does just do it on people at times.
Oh,
But also like he just like his face goes from where's the right, his face goes from that to that in Bright's like in Bright's stream chat.
Yeah, I
That's
see
his
it.
only reaction to seeing a guy fucking die from a massive amount of seizures, probably shitting himself from all the knowledge being implanted into his brain. He's just oh. He just takes on the face of a thresher shark.
Oh my god.
oh no. Let's keep watching.
Oh, now
And
I want
leads
to.
Foundation person-
I want to. Now I just want to make a like. I want to find like a Photoshop job of someone having put glasses on a thresher shark.
We need to focus.
Focusing isn't fun. Focusing leads to mental anguish.
Oh my god. Anyways, in
Well,
3,
yes, but we'll never get through this if we don't focus.
2. In 3,
Ah.
2, 1.
personnel to fear if SCP-606 is actually a malevolent entity. If so, this would require an immediate change in classification of the entity to Keter, as currently the Foundation possesses no effective countermeasurement to a possible breach by SCP-606. SCP-606 is currently housed of its own will in an unfurnished 20 meter by 20
randomly left and come back though.
Yeah, it's just like. Well, I mean, the SCP itself hasn't just randomly left and come back. It stayed put. But they just keep showing it leaving and coming back for some reason.
Okay, then I
Yeah.
think they've done that so often that my brain is basically fried.
Yeah, the video's gaslighting you.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
25 meter by 8 meter cell at Site 12, the entrance to which is sealed
We
by
don't
two
know the site.
25 centimeter steel
Yeah.
blast doors on either side of an airlock. No personnel are to enter the entity's containment zone.
Why
What
is
the
this one guard?
What? What? Okay, so these two guards are of different art styles almost. They're both like equally botched, but in different ways.
Oh my gosh, the left guy's sniper rifle doesn't even look like a gun.
The left
There's-
guy's sniper rifle is technically so badly drawn. Oh, look at the hand.
Like it, I don't even. It looks like it looks like he's holding a bizarrely shaped plunger with a dildo attachment.
But look at his hand. It looks like a spork.
Yeah, the fucking spork hand. He's very self-conscious about it. He's been bullied all his life. The kids on the playground always called him Spork.
Yeah.
No, I never thought I'd say this, but I would fucking bully him.
Oh my god. Also, I kind of find it funny. It looks like the guy on the right is trying to defend the guy on the left from being bullied.
It doesn't look like that because that doesn't look like a gun either. If you look at the guy on the left, that gun doesn't have a trigger. It doesn't have anything to hold on to fire. And the one on the right has something to hold on, but it does not have a trigger. And he's literally holding onto the bullet case like it's going to save him. And
It's
what
like
are the two random shit on the top?
it's like they tried to draw like an AUG assault rifle, but gave up like 1/3 of the way.
I need to look up what the fuck that is.
An AUG.
Oh, I get it. Oh yeah, they messed up.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put this announcement back earlier, but on my days off, especially when I couldn't stream, I have been doing my art classes, and I'm starting to get the feel
Nice.
of going to do the old artwork I did in the past, where I created these little creatures of creepy writing around it. I'll be starting work on doing that this Saturday since I'm no longer doing overtime Saturday and Sunday. So
I'm very happy for you, honestly.
yeah,
The best thing that can happen for an artist is to have their artisticness come back. Oh, my brain's fried.
so yeah. I will post updates whenever I create a creature.
Yeah, Bright, if you don't know what I'm referring to, I put a photo of the thing in.
If you're
Yeah.
right, Hatchet, then it means basically they're trying to make the things on the top of the rifles basically the scopes like on the ARG. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
one has two, which makes no sense and would make it useless as a scope. And
I'm
also,
guess-
the one with two doesn't have it up high enough to work as a scope. And the second one that does have like a quote unquote scope is shaped less like a scope and more like a handle, but in the wrong direction.
I was also just gonna say, I think that like that second scope-like protrusion might have been intended to be like a side-mounted flashlight,
Yeah.
and they just
But
made
they
it
both
look identical. Yeah, like they made a flashlight, but it's just looks identical to the scope.
A flashlight would be useless. I mean, useful, but it would be useless as two.
I like how
Why
we're
do you need the second one?
Yeah, also, I like how we're spending so much fucking time on the guns and not even the SCP.
This is just like, again, this is like the train crash effect. Like, you just can't look away from it.
Yeah, let's
And the
just-
more you look at it, the worse it gets.
Yeah. Anyways.
Why, look at that spork hand. Look at it with your artist's eyes.
I see, it's fucked up. Anyways.
New
let's
Trevor Henderson, April Fool's monster spork hand.
Look at the both of the hands on the one on the right. I was so
Yeah.
distracted by spork hand that I didn't notice lobster hand and lobster hand.
Lobster hand and crumpled up ball of paper.
Anyways, we're gonna go back and watch the video in 3, 2, 1.
Cell, except under controlled testing circumstances or with authorization from a staff.
Why is all of the suits so fucking botched?
I don't know, wait a minute.
What is?
Is this them using a normal like SCP worker as a D class again?
Yes.
Wait.
Also,
Is he trying to do something like Elon Musk is trying to do?
yeah. Also, since 2001, Roger has generated enough income and solar energy to raise and fund a Mars colony from scratch. This makes him all the more valuable. He's currently overseeing the next big project from SCP. There's no way this isn't just
Wait,
fucking chat GPT'd
Yeah.
goddamn.
text. There's no way this isn't chat GPT text. But anyway, you want to just go a handful of frames back to get a good look at that hazmat suit.
With how badly he's written, I'm surprised they didn't name him Roy Rogers.
What? It's just what is wrong with this hazmat suit?
I don't know.
Well,
Testing
everything
circumstances.
is merged into one.
Wait, I just know something. The arrows, they're off.
Oh,
You
I don't
just
like that.
noticed that?
I was so fixated on like the bizarrely angled mask that's like the canister parts like are attached to the side of his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't notice that as well. This is just
Awful. Anyways, let's continue.
Or with authorization from a staff member of level 4 clearance or higher. Standard positive action defenses,
Authorized.
explosive, chemical, biological, and memetic, are to be in place at all times.
Where did this go?
this was in the article. It's just he's choosing to depict it absurdly stupidly.
Yeah, because I just see like
Like,
3 mounted machine guns.
Just 3 miniguns mounted, as if that's gonna do jack shit. Quick, shoot the incorporeal ball of light. Something might happen.
Wait, I just realized this SCP could kill another SCP quite easily.
Yes.
The German party robot.
They I guess
don't
it
think
does.
they're going to show the incorporeal ball of knowledge and neutrality to the robot. So much
Is
could go wrong.
the robot sapient?
Maybe? Oh, I was saying that because that robot's biggest weakness is light. Like, a literal flashlight turns it off.
Think of this. What would you think would happen to the incorporeal ball and their morality if they touched that robot and absorbed all the knowledge from it?
Oh, God.
I mean, in terms of like all of the other ethical works they must have taken in, it'd probably just be a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you think they've also touched people of that party?
I wouldn't be too surprised. Yeah, Book mentioned this earlier, but also like I just don't think this thing would interact with the robot at all. Unless like it was to try to extract information from it. It wouldn't try to enlighten the robot.
I was just saying because near it would. I was just thinking like it would be because of how bright it is that the robot would be so overwhelmed with the light that it just self-destructs. That's what I was thinking.
Right. I forgot about that aspect of the thing.
Yeah, like you shine a flashlight, it just shuts off.
Oh, damn it. Now I'm back to being angry at that SCP. Why is it a Keter?
Anyway, press play.
According to standard operating procedure, through use of a mobile, remotely operated device, SCP-606 is to be provided with an ordinary USB flash storage device containing no less than 2 megabytes of data every 12 hours. The data contained on the device is to be left to the discretion of SCP-606's supervisor, but text from classic literature or encyclopedias, movie clips, or audio files of historical speeches are ideal. In an emergency situation, this may be substituted with data in any form, such as print,
Just
compact
absorbing
discs,
it.
or videotapes. A careful record of all data provided to the entity.
Wait, they put their D-class character's name as senior staff member.
Ah.
SCP Special Forces Unit. All needed precautions have been taken by the staff to ensure the safety of both 606 and the Foundation personnel. What do you mean the safety of 606?
Wait, here's the thing that bothers me. The left side is not that bad, but look closely at the right side.
Yeah,
Well, why don't we just keep going?
it's the same thing as the first book.
3, 2, 1.
Must be kept. No material pertaining to
Yeah,
the
but-
Foundation or other anomalous objects should be provided to
Alright, we can do
Existentialism? Existential? That what? Why would that be off limits? You're giving it classical works for fuck's sake. Existentialism and questions of existence are going to come up in classical works. Does this fuck that?
Also,
I'm
That
upset.
shit has broken.
I clicked contradiction on the bingo board because at the very beginning of the video, we see them feeding SCP Foundation materials to it in an
Yeah.
animation, and then they say, don't do that.
It's just
Contradiction.
one question. Have we seen any women
No,
No,
or people of color?
no.
no.
Guess we'll just have to keep that in mind going forward. Is the orb a person of color?
No. But I will say I envy the
Fire.
people of color and the women that are avoiding this.
I find that so
But we can't
funny,
do that.
shit. I find that so
Oh,
funny.
Erin's here. Erin is a woman not avoiding it. How does it feel? How does it feel?
I can't stop laughing at what you said. Is this orb of white a person of color? I think that's the
Let's be
first time
honest,
that has
that
ever
orb is
been
at least
said.
non-binary.
I think that's the first time it's ever been
Maybe.
said.
Oh no.
3, 2, 1.
SCP-606 under any circumstances, as this may be used against the Foundation in future as a form of blackmail. SCP-606 was first discovered in France in 1989, following the sudden
Having
disappearance of
just
28
unredacting
individuals
the
in a
data.
small town.
That's not how they disappeared. That's not how that was done, man. They just walked behind a curtain of existence and were gone. Oh, and I guess that sun up there is actually the orb.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Just be out of the world.
They just peace out.
Wait, I know what happened to them, Hatchet.
What?
They went into the back rooms. They no clipped out of reality.
Take us with you!
My question is, does the back rooms have internet access?
No.
Well, actually, there are some
Damn.
areas that do.
In which case, I think I'd be perfectly fine living in the back rooms.
Yeah, however, it was like the Windows XP computers.
I mean, some internet, some internet. All I need is the ability to download my copious amounts of questionable materials and play Skyrim, and I'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I also found out something funny. There is a
Oh, and read Lord of the Rings stuff.
canonical
Anyway, go ahead.
floor within the back rooms that looks close to Green Hill Zone. And yes, there is an entity that looks like Sonic.exe. I just have to share that. Anyways.
Oh, my tailbone.
Oh my god. 3, 2, 1.
Once the entity was located, hidden in the basement of an abandoned cabin, personnel were able to look.
Wait, what?
That was never. Why does they feel the need to just add random information that wasn't in the article?
Now it kind of sounds like it was already kidnapped.
It got kidnapped by some other organization somehow. I just. Also, SCP Special Forces printed on the side of their moving truck. Yeah, okay, bud. Yeah, that's definitely how the SCP operates. Just goes around with their logo out in the open to everyone in the city. Then again, maybe it's, you know what? It's in English, so maybe there's less likelihood of the French understanding it, but I'm pretty sure English is still pretty common over there.
I would find it funny if at one point they put on the side of a truck SCP. I could scream for politicians.
Now what I think would be funny in like one of these content farm videos is if like to depict SCP trucks out in the open, you could make like a joke out of it, like the brand name on the side of the truck is like nothing to see here or move along. Like it's something that's like tongue in cheek, like, yeah, this is the SCP, but they're not actually saying what they are. Because why the fuck would the secret organization print SCP Special Forces on the side of their trucks when they're going out in the open?
Oh no, Hatchet. I just see where they labeled not long after we see the truck, they're gonna go to the interview, and the rest of the video is gonna be the interview.
I can't wait.
In 3, 2, 1.
Thanks, book.
Lure the entity into a vehicle and transport it to its current holding facility at Site 12 by offering the entity D-Class members to enlighten. Results of
What? I don't. What? It willingly went.
I mean, yeah, that they're describing it willingly going.
No, but they said it went because it was offered D-Class.
That's what they
wait.
did.
Oh, they did offer? Oh.
Yes.
I thought it just...
I'm having to consistently remind y'all about the actual article because this thing's just so thoroughly gaslighting y'all.
Yeah, because
What
from
is
real perhaps due to
gaslighting us
constant
so
supply of
much?
information provided to it.
Man, we
It doesn't
literally
say
just listened to
D-Class.
the article and it feels like they keep repeating incorrect information so much that I just keep questioning reality.
I know for a fact the D-class thing was in there. Let's see. Right, it's literally right above what you were just reading. It's on this. It's on the screen. Personnel subsequently managed to lure SCP-606 into a transport vehicle and transfer it to the current facility, offering it D-class personnel to enlighten.
Okay, I'm blind.
Yes, literally. You tried to. You read the line directly under that. Say no, they didn't blur it with D-class. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna reframe what I said earlier. Jerry's getting gaslit by the video. Bright's just dumb. Or I guess Aaron's just dumb.
Maybe she's also being gaslit.
Yes. Anyways, in 3, 2, 1.
Past interviews with SCP-606 have been mixed. Although it has previously been willing to answer some basic questions about itself and its history, any more in-depth questioning on the knowledge it possesses inevitably results in a request by SCP-606 to enlighten the interviewer and a refusal to answer further questions. Requests have been made to the
That's
entity
not
to
how it goes. It tries its best to answer, but it doesn't know how to answer past a certain thing. It's not refusing to, it just doesn't know how to with words. It
Well,
considers the human language clumsy and very difficult to use.
well, yeah, but in this case, it is still just reiterating directly from the article.
Yeah.
Well, not directly, it's rewording it in a way that pisses me off.
No, it's. I remember that exact phrase in the article.
Alright, anyways, let's continue in 3, 2, 1. Let's finish this. Out.
Let me just look around. Was it after
It says
the
this.
D-class to enlighten thing?
It's in the paragraph directly above it.
The
To
paragraph above enlightening D-class?
Yeah, SCP-606 to enlighten the interviewer and a refusal to answer further questions.
Yeah. Alright, let's continue the video in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, then it
refrain
had
from-
clumsy wording in the article as well.
Yeah, anyways, in 3.
I would say with how they speak on the interview, I disagree with the way they word it in the article itself, because it sounds like it just doesn't know how to word it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, in 3, 2, 1.
from attempting to enlighten anyone without permission. These requests have been partially complied with by the entity, as SCP-606 no longer tries to enlighten every individual it comes in contact with. But it has still sporadically tried to perform the process without prompting. For this reason, access to the entity's cell is restricted.
Random.
The
yeah.
following recording is an interview that was conducted with the entity in June of 2019.
Appears the
Dr.
interview.
Harold sat at a comms unit which was connected to a set of speakers in SCP-606's chamber, while the creature's replies were then recorded and translated into English. The entity also appears to understand the English language.
Can you understand me?
Wait, audio courtesy of the Vulcan? Did they
Yeah,
actually get the
this is-
Vulcan's permission, or?
It doesn't say it, and they don't give anything towards the Vulcan outside of the words on the clip. It doesn't say the audio belongs to the Vulcan or they got permission from the Vulcan.
Right.
So I'll have to. I think we need to dock points on that, despite giving other things.
Because you
I mean, at the same time, the Vulcan stuff would be Creative Commons.
yeah.
It would be, but the thing you're supposed to do when it's Creative Commons is basically say we took this from them, which they do in the video, but they also don't do it in the text under it.
Yeah. But
Okay, I get
yeah,
what you
also
mean.
usually when Vulcan gets like aids and stuff like this, he usually comments on the video. There's no comment of the Vulcan.
Well, yeah, no shit. I've heard this exact audio that they're gonna play.
I
Like
think
this,
they're
We've
unaware.
all heard it. It's the Vulcan.
Yeah,
like
obviously.
the exact audio that they're going to play is directly from the Vulcan's video on this.
Yeah. I have a feeling they have Vulcan has no idea about this.
Well, of course he has no idea about this. Do you think he wants his name associated with this schlock fest?
Absolutely not. Especially since now they're an AI channel.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if the Vulcan knew about this, they would probably do something like to get the audio taken out or something.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
anyways.
just.
Huh?
I'm just blah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ah.
3, 2, 1.
How did you learn to do this? I listen. Could you tell us what you are? I am the teacher. Could you be more specific? I am the teacher. I am a purveyor of knowledge. Enter this chamber, and I shall enlighten you. I do not wish to do that at the moment. How do you enlighten people? I teach them. Are you aware that this causes your students to die? I do not call it death. It is the consequence of being inadequate. What do you teach? I teach all that I have learned. Do you know who I am? You are that which calls itself a human. Your fellows refer to you as doctor. Do you know what a doctor is? It is your word for one who has been taught and teaches in your own fashion, at least. Can you teach me through talking to me? I wish to enlighten you. If you do not wish to be enlightened, I have no use for you.
At this point, SCP-606 refused to answer any more of Dr. Harold's questions, and
Right.
refused to communicate for several days afterwards. On the 8th of June 2019, Dr. Harold's dead body was found in his quarters.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
Cause
okay.
of
Now
death is
we're adding bullshit. Now we're adding bullshit. And they took out the Dr. Major, probably.
Oh, yeah.
unknown. Personnel checked on SCP-606's security footage in the time between its interview with Dr. Harold and Dr. Harold's death, but it appears to not have moved at all during that period. An investigation into the doctor's death is currently underway and remains unsolved. So, what did you think of that SCP case? Comment
Fuck
your thoughts
you.
down below.
Yeah, they got rid of Dr. Major. Wait a
They didn't
minute, I
mention
just
Dr. Major.
see the title. My substitute teacher was a demon, seduced and hunted.
Anyway,
Alright, alright.
I
Removal of
just-
character slash license. Yeah.
I would have to
they-
say that's at least a 3.
I would put it
because-
at 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Not only did they remove characters, but the Vulcan thing really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thought is like, because Saint, what the fuck? Dr. Major only shows up at the very end as like the guy who's like commenting on the article at the end. I feel like it's a less egregious thing to have lost, so I would have given that 1 point. And then I would have taken away 2 points for the Vulcan thing.
Yeah.
Or given 2 points for the Vulcan thing. So 3.
Alright. Added gore and or violence.
I guess one because it just randomly added that a doctor died.
Yeah, for no reason.
Like just out of nowhere.
yeah, 606 it
Yeah.
didn't even do it. And like, what the hell? What happened?
And it's like it's so stupid.
DB's trying to pull out the article. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly there, but it's just like little bits here and there.
It's there, but it's not there. It changes itself in a way repeatedly where it gaslights you into believing a not truth, which I believe
Yeah.
makes it more severe because it's literally using bits of truth to mislead you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very upset that they literally gaslit me.
Yeah.
First time ever, Jerry
I
was
mean, I'm
gaslit
not
by.
that smart, but I'd like to believe that they can't gaslight me, but here we are.
It's like it was providing the exact information. It's just provided in such a manner that it's easy to go, wait, that's not right. It's very odd.
But it would also provide information that was inaccurate, like the forest, the explosion, having people
Well,
like vanish into the ether,
yeah.
and
I
while in the city, like having the ball of light be basically the sun.
yeah, I would put it at 2, maybe 3.
I feel like the gaslighting is at least 1 point.
I think that's fair, yeah. So like would you be sitting around there as well, Jerry?
Around
2 or
three,
3?
I would sit around
3?
3.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Only men in video such offensiveness.
Well, it offended us by gaslighting you two, but that's
Yeah,
not the metric
that's
we're looking
technically
at.
not offensiveness. I have to say, no women, no people of color, no people of different cultures of any kind
It's
besides
just
like SCP. They didn't even show French people while they were in France. I feel like that's a weird form of racism.
well, no. They showed French people disappearing.
It didn't feel like it. They weren't dressed in a particular way, and
I mean, yeah.
when they showed the city, it was so vague you couldn't tell if it was France or in Kentucky.
It's Franz Tucky.
No,
Uh, I'd put it at like 2.
two makes sense.
Yeah.
Like 1 point for having 0 diversity, another point for like having like 0 contextual diversity, like in terms of like actually displaying any semblance of like various cultures being that should be shown. The closest
Yeah.
thing to like French culture we saw was the Eiffel Tower. That's it.
Yeah. Also, while I'm adding up the numbers,
But
what's the... I saw this on Reddit. What is the worst SCP you've ever read? Mine, 100% is factory porn. I've already stated what's inside of it, and I do not wish to say it again. For obvious reasons.
Mm,
I don't think I have the brain for that, but I will say, back on topic, I would have been happy if they showed the city with the Frenchness. They had at least showed a fucking baguette. If they had showed a croissant, if they had shown like a small cup of coffee or something, they didn't show
escargot.
anything. Like,
50%.
the only things that existed were empty buildings, empty of anything culturally or in general, and two people that might have been French but might have not been, who
Yeah.
vanished.
Okay. Alright, Bookworm, in case you're wondering what SCP-1004 Factory Porn is, let's just say watching it makes you want to do the most illegal sexual acts imaginable. That I'm not gonna say what they are. You should already know. I, yeah, you can already see why I'm not gonna state which ones. And I'm talking about stuff that gets you most likely killed in prison. Anyways. Yeah. Who wants to read SCP-457?
I will.
Well, let me get its nickname. I'm not making anyone uncomfortable by describing it my most hated SCP.
You were vague about it, so
Okay.
I don't care.
I just
I
didn't
was
want
too focused on responding to Apollo and Demon.
to... Okay. I just
They
didn't
were
want to make anyone
talking
uncomfortable.
about an SCP that makes you want to do the bad touch.
I gleaned enough from it. I just don't care much.
That's fair. Okay, I just don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Anyways, this one is the Burning Man. Oh my gosh, the next SCP after the Burning Man is the never-ending pizza box. So now I'm just imagining this guy is just carrying around the pizza boxes. Delivery man.
Well, there's no pizza boxes.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Never ending pizza box is a different SCP. Let's stay on this one.
Yeah, anyways, like I said, this is the Burning Man.
Item number SCP-457, Object Class Euclid, Potential Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-457 is to be kept in a 5 by 5 meter chamber with no less than 22.9 centimeter as 9 inches of I was saying that totally badly. Of cumulative fireproofing via various materials as asbestos cement, perlite boards upon all surfaces, but asbestos is not fireproof. Anyway, a blast-proof observation window with emergency blast shielding installed. The opening to the chamber must consist of at least 2 temperature-controlled and airtight chambers that may be sealed in case of emergency. SCP-457's chamber should be kept at high humidity with a drainage system installed in the floor, as well as misting sprinkler system installed and running constantly, and emergency hoses capable of at least 2.1 MPa, which is 300 psi of water pressure. That's a lot of pressure. SCP-457 is allowed a small structure upon the wall of its chamber that remains water-free, but only allows for minimal protection and preservation of form. All personnel entering 457's chamber should be wearing at least Class A temperature-controlled flame-retardant sealed suits, and enter in groups of 3 with 2 members equipped with high-grade blast shields and emergency fire extinguishers. Personnel should only enter SCP-457's chamber in order to supply 457 with daily allotment of fuel material to examine and repair any damage to chamber or sprinkler systems. Should SCP-457 engage personnel in a hostile manner, it is to be controlled via emergency extinguishers and hoses until it retreats back to its safe chamber. In the event 457 breaks containment, emergency sprinkler systems will be triggered and personnel will be supplied with extinguishers and blast shielding. Description: for all points and purposes, SCP-457 appears to be a sentient being composed of flame. SCP-457's actual composition is unknown and has proven to be invisible and undetectable by any known means, but it's shaped out by the flames it produces, often assuming a human-like form if given sufficient fuel to assume that size. SCP-457's most rudimentary form appears to be that of a single flame, comparable in size to that of a matchstick. In this form, SCP-457 possesses only the simplest of directives and shows no sign of being unusual compared to any other flame beyond a penchant of suddenly flickering to burn human hands, the ability to jump to more flammable materials or other flames, which it then assimilates into its total form. So it's an asshole even at its smallest. As SCP-457 grows larger, it is able to assume more complex shape and its intelligence grows with size and fuel sources. SCP-457's method of intelligence is unknown, but upon reaching an approximately human size, SCP-457 almost always assumes a human-like form surrounded by and composed of flames. SCP-457 has been observed to communicate through writing letters out of its own flames, charring them into the wall or other surfaces, and more rarely through speech created via high pressure, superheated air and the crackling and pops of flames. Once SCP-457 reaches an unknown threshold of size and fuel source, SCP-457 splits into two beings, and so on and so forth. However, multiple beings of 457 are aggressive towards each other and will either attempt to consume or extinguish their doubles, especially if there is only a limited amount of fuel at hand. SCP-457's behavior is largely predictable, as its goals are simply to acquire larger sources of fuel and to spread. The danger of 457 comes from the ability to increase intelligence with size and apparent ability to learn and mimic behaviors. This has led to it purposely damaging and sabotaging sprinkler systems and, in rare circumstances, set up relatively complex traps. It has also attempted to trick or reason with personnel to be released or have access to more fuel. Due to SCP-457's unique composition, variable intelligence, and uncooperative nature, its psychology may be accurately determined in accordance with any human analogy. SCP-457 was recovered and redacted in the summer of 2007 after multiple wildfires were attributed to it. It is unknown where or how SCP-457 initially formed. Investigation into the potential of SCP-457 being responsible for other major fires is underway. Okay. Addendum: an interview between Dr. Redacted and SCP. Can you speak currently? Yes. Good. Would you mind answering some questions? I'll take that as a no. How do you feel about being confined? Dislike. No fuel, no air. We have provided you with adequate air and fuel to survive. Cannot burn, no fuel. Are you saying that you cannot grow? Grow, need, must grow. 457 moves about the containment area as if searching. How do you feel? Hungry. Do you need anything besides hunger? No answer. 457 approaches blast shielding, separating from the doctor. How do you feel about humans? They burn. 457 moves closer to blasting shield, appearing to examine the window and the doctor. How do you feel about fuel? It burns. 457 places a hand upon the blast shielding, to no effect. Please move away from the window, or we will be forced to reduce your size considerably. No reply or signs of understanding. Does not move. How do you feel about water? Please move away from window or we will be forced to turn on sprinklers. The SCP backed away from the window, still screaming, hissing, and snapping. Do you understand that? Stay away from the window, and you will not be doused. The SCP quieted and remained still for several seconds before approaching the window again, stopping several feet away. Do you understand? Want fuel, want air, want burn, want to burn, want to burn, want to burn. It repeats itself, growing louder and beginning to move about containment area rapidly, apparently searching walls and ceiling for a way out. There's not a way out. If you would please, what is it doing? Is it looking for a way out? At this point in the interview, SCP-457 managed to severely damage much of the sprinkler system and destroy a portion of the fuel injector that had been sustaining its intelligent form, giving it free access to several gallons of gasoline. The interview transcript was recovered via security footage from the blast. SCP-457's temporary breach of containment came from an exploitation of the sealant used to attach the blast shielding to the rest of the chamber. How SCP-457 managed to learn of it and exploit this weakness is unknown and has since been moved to a higher security chamber. Addendum 2. Due to high excessive resource requirements in keeping SCP-457 contained, locating a permanent renewable fuel source is currently a high priority. Proposals so far include, but are not limited to, use of starch dust obtained from SCP-1689 potatoes. Oh!
An infinite bag of
That's a
potatoes.
good idea. Use of SCP-124 to rapidly produce source of biofuel. Huh. Approval of one or more of these proposals pending review.
I don't know what 124 is. Hold on. Should look at 124 is a plant soil approximately 9 meters squared in area and 14 meters cubed in size. Okay. It was recovered from a Detroit basement when authorities are notified of 2 teenagers growing large amounts of marijuana.
Basically, since it can grow that, I assume they're saying they could grab potatoes, grow it, but I think that those two things should not go together.
Oh yeah, 124's ability to grow any biological organism to its full potential in a relatively short amount of time.
That, or they mean to use 124 to take any fuel they use and make more of it.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like, use 124 as a way to mass produce flammable materials for them.
I think 1689 potatoes would be perfect though, since there's
Yeah.
so many potatoes. There's an entire world drowned in potatoes. There's never going to be lack of potatoes. They can have all the potato they want.
Potato World.
Death pipe potatoes.
Wait a second. I haven't done this in forever. Give me a sec. It's something very important. Where's the button? There it is. Oh, where is it? Where is it? I know for a fact I have it in my favorites. It's not my favorites for some reason. Right, you didn't get rid of potatoes, did you? There it is.
Potatoes.
Yeah, there we go. Jerry found it before I did. Oh, it's right there. I'm blind.
Potatoes.
I don't actually know who found it.
I was the one who was spamming it.
Oh, I thought that was.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
not- Have I ever spammed that thing?
So the reason why I thought it was you, Jerry, is because it was like lighting up your like the green. I'm guessing because it was coming slightly through your mic. So my brain goes, oh, Jiri is lighting up every time it goes. That means Jiri's doing it.
It was just her.
Yeah, also, I posted a thumbnail.
Oh, are we already at the end of the article?
Yeah.
It's accurate, but the way that it put it just want to say that's at least a 2. It's like, I know, literally, it's showing things accurately, but we don't actually know if it was that size when it was out. We have no idea.
Well, I mean, it caused several forest fires.
Okay, that's fair.
I would put this at most at a 1.
Yeah. I don't think it's that bad.
It also
Okay.
just, for some reason, makes me think of All for One from My Hero Academia.
But how it looks for some reason just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know.
No, I kind of get you.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say 2.
I feel like it's not bad enough to be 2, but
Yeah.
That's fair after all. There's technically nothing inaccurate. It just feels like it's put in a way to try to get your attention really badly. It's not doing it inaccurately. Just don't like it.
honestly, as far as I'm concerned, if it's accurate while trying to get your attention, then I have absolutely no issue with it.
Okay, look, these fuckers did it in this video. Special thanks to the Vulcan for giving his voice to the Burning Man. Watch this video here. I still have no doubt the Vulcan has no idea about this.
Oh yeah, he didn't do it, but at least they properly credited him. And I was actually going to mention they're 100% going to strip from the Vulcan again because I remember the Vulcan doing a really good interview section with this as well.
Also, I want to see what the SCP
I'm
art
sorry
books
for the
are.
slams you may or may not have heard from my direction.
Oh yeah, it's these where they're trying to get the funding. They got the funding for like these realistic looking stuff. It's on my throne. It's really neat.
Did you buy those books?
Ooh.
I have not. I want to, because just look at the shit that's inside.
It's cool.
It's on my throne. I want it. Like, it has the actual SCP articles and shit on there. Okay, so they actually gave credit for everyone this time.
It's a good start. Will they keep it up? Probably.
Okay.
No.
Hold on, before we continue, Bookworm, if you're here, what's your thoughts on most likely how this video is gonna go?
How was someone supposed to answer that? It's gonna go terribly. What? There's no other answer. This is like asking Book, hey, Book, do you know what 2 + 2 is?
It's fish.
Fuck you.
Let's watch the video.
Alright. 3, 2, 1.
The Special Forces unit of the SCP.
The fuck was that beginning sound?
Yeah, not the worst, but still bad.
Like,
I guess that's a fair enough assessment, Book.
can't. No. What? What is that?
I don't know.
Oh,
What is that?
sound?
Just wrong. Or the video.
Wrong.
Anyways.
The Special Forces unit of the SCP Foundation arrived at the scene. There had been
my
reports
God,
of wildfires all across the country, and Foundation searchers had suspected these random
Why
wildfires.
would that
Oh my
Foundation
God.
randomly visit wildfires everywhere?
They got
Wait,
bad
what is
math
that map?
again.
Why did they brought it back? You made a perfectly fine one in one of your previous ones, but no, we just have to
What
bring
is
back.
that map?
Japan's
just have-
gone. They got
No,
rid of other countries.
Japan. No Japan. The Middle East is flooded. Panama is gone. Actually, most of Central America is gone.
I would like to comment. You said Japan is gone, but I would like to ask you, what Asian country is even there?
I think it's supposed to be China.
China is also, it may be near Russia, but not all of it is attached to Russia.
Yeah. I love splitting the Arabian Peninsula in two. This book. Oh. Wait, is Norway gone?
I mean, yeah, basically.
Yay!
Scandinavia has turned into its own island.
I successfully nuked Norway.
No,
No.
you didn't. Also, we're just gonna everyone 07's in chat for all of fucking Southeast Asia. They're all gone.
Yeah.
All
Vietnam,
of Asia is gone.
Indonesia, Philippines, nowhere to be seen.
Hey,
We've got, I think that's supposed to be
Wait, are
India.
we going to go through all the many countries in Asia?
no, okay.
No.
Here's one thing. There is some good news. North Korea's gone.
South Korea's gone.
Yeah, Korea's just gone.
You're like, look, the bad half is gone. I'm like, the good half is gone. I mean, it's not the best, but it has amazing food, and they have issues where literally it's so integrated into their culture to respect people of higher rank. Literally, there was at least one airplane crash that happened because the person in charge wanted to make sure everyone knew in charge.
Oh yeah, Hawaii is also gone.
Yeah, no more Hawaii. Although I
You
will
just
say,
noticed.
I will say, if Japan was still here, the Japanese imperialists and fascists would be very happy that there is no more Korea. But Japan's also gone.
Japan is just upset at people in general who tried to hold them responsible for their own actions in World War II.
True.
Wait, I know what this map is. It's the result of nuclear war.
Right? No.
Nukes wouldn't do this.
Let's just press play. Let's get away from the
Wildfires were
Mexico.
of the unnatural origin. There had also been eyewitness accounts of a man of fire who had been spotted wandering through these woods, setting
That's the Burning Man.
No one spotted a man
Yeah.
of fire.
It's so stupid.
That was not in the article. I knew that that cover picture bothered me. I knew something was up. I knew it. I called it.
What?
That
Wait,
they
what?
would say like there was a man of fire spotted in the fires. It said a lot of things about the SCP, but that was not one of them.
No.
Anyways,
As in they're making shit up now.
well, that's to be expected.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
I was just saying I was right about the thumbnail they used was clickbait. I was right. I was right.
okay. If I said 3, 2, 1.
fire to everything it touched. The Special Forces unit entered the wildfire.
The
Oh,
fuck?
the bot. The fucking botched air masks again.
No,
Not
just
just
look.
the air masks. Look at the tubing.
Yeah, this is their weapons against the Burning Man.
Quick, everyone, grab your vacuums from Luigi's Mansion.
Also, the one in the back, it almost looks like a dick. Because the way I paused.
Oh,
She's not wrong, but I still hate it.
Anyways, 3, 2, 1.
Fire with their protective gear, which prevented them from being burned. For many hours, they saw nothing but fire. They brought
That is
special
not
equipment to douse the
fireproof.
fire, and yet the fire kept.
What makes it worse is coming out as white.
well, I mean it's a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, that's how fire extinguishers come out, as white.
Actually, I had a fire extinguisher at Chick-fil-A once that shot out blue stuff instead of white stuff.
I've seen
Don't
those.
you
as well.
also work around chemicals?
Yeah.
Different types of extinguishers are for different types of fires.
Yeah, like
Chemicals tend to get their own thing.
Yeah, like the general everyday purpose fire extinguishers are basically always white foam. I know this because when I was younger, I did a dumb child thing, and I randomly decided to run into my uh I walked into my bathroom. There was no fire, of course, but I thought fire extinguishers are cool. What if I just unload the entire fire extinguisher into my bathroom?
To be fair, that's a very kid thing.
My parents were very upset, and I had trouble breathing for a while.
Okay, here's the thing is with that. I actually prank called the police once. As a little kid, like I called it. It's just like, "Hello, this is 911. What's your emergency?" Dead silence for, I kid you not, for 15 minutes. Then I hung up the phone. I just left the city back.
Right. Aaron, I'd like to remind you, you're an adult and you're laughing about that.
I know. It's
That
fun.
was not a good thing to do. I mean, little kids do things like that, but it was still not a good thing to do.
The closest thing to that I did was my preschool teacher's husband was a police officer, and he like came into our uh like he came in and talked with us like about his very whitewashed uh cop job uh at one point, and then at some point like on a Saturday I thought I want to talk to that guy more. So I called 911 and asked them if Mr. P was around to talk to.
I
Obviously
will
censoring his
say
name.
I also made a mistake when I was a kid, but I do not find it funny. When I learned about police being things you can call on briefly in preschool, and so when I tried to clip my nails, my mom grabbed it because it was a sharp object and I was a tiny idiot child. I called the police because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. And then I learned no, that is not what you're supposed to do.
Oh no.
Uh,
Yes. Enough about the pigs. Let's go watch the video.
uh,
Springing up in random places without seemingly any cause. The Special Forces unit drove deeper into the woods. Then, one member spotted what appeared to be the silhouette of a man. The member called out to the man, inquiring if he needed any help, but the man did not reply. The man slowly turned to face
I'm
them,
just going
but
to
the
say,
member of the
why did they change the design to that inaccuracy? It looks less like a man of fire and more like the fire dancing on a charcoal man base.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is
I'm
not
guessing
accurate.
I'm guessing they did it that way because making a man of fire that looks even slightly decent would take significantly more effort.
Yeah.
I would like to say I do not care if they draw the laziest man of fire ever. I just want it accurate.
That's
Could
fair
look like
enough.
a blob of orange that slightly moves, and I would be happier.
It could look like the tickle monster that's supposed to be fire, and we would be fine.
Yes, yes. As
Anyway,
long as it's trying. It's
Give
not
me a
trying. It's literally not even fucking trying.
give me 1 second. I need to do
Aaron, did
something.
you click inaccurate design?
yeah, I already did.
Bad design.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. One moment. Behold, in recording live stream VC chat, the Burning Man. Oh,
Oh my god. It's 3, 2, 1.
The Special Forces unit realized the man was nothing but a silhouette. He had no face, no eyes, no mouth. His silhouette was formed purely by the outlines of the fire. The members stood still
God damn
in
it,
shock,
999
having not
really
expected
is
to
not
encounter a
accurate,
being
and I
like
hate
this.
it.
The silhouette seemed to watch them for several seconds, and then, without warning, it pounced, surging forward and blasting the members with its heat. Hey guys, the
That's
SCP
not
world
how
just
it works.
Eh.
I mean, I'm sure would love to be able to do it like that, but no. It does not do it that way, and it actually only sees humans as flammable.
Alright, we're gonna skip the SCP ad.
It doesn't especially target it doesn't especially target humans. Just
yeah.
like Spire, it wants to grow.
They decided to change like constantly famished flame monster into purposeful serial killer.
Wait a
Because
minute!
why not?
I just realized something. You know how it says SCP-457 right here, the Burning Man, and they usually put a description for the Burning Man? SCP-606 appears as spherical massive light, alternating size and intensity.
They, oh my god! Why?
He put
Why are they?
606 description.
Why are they so stupid?
We thought they were good with everything in the description, but nope.
Did they? Okay, so, but I mean, at the very least, the important bits, the license are there. They just used the wrong description.
Yeah.
Why did they change the flame into a serial killer?
Yeah, I love the
spooky.
comment. Name the Burning Man. Nickname the Florida Man. Alright, ready to go back to the video?
My head hurts.
That's a yes. And 3, 2, 1.
class object, SCP-457, also known as the Burning Man.
What's with the
Inaccurate.
demon voice and echo?
Always does it. They always
Doesn't
do
it
it.
realize that it would look more accurate if instead of a black body, they gave it an orange body? It doesn't need to be detailed. It just needs to look like fire. Just
Yeah.
fire. Fire.
I think it's because of the picture you have for 457 being right here, having some dark. But if you look at the copy in the background, it's just fire.
Yeah, it's not that someone is on fire, it's just that it's trying to move in a people shape. There's not actually blackness.
Anyways, in 3, 2, 1.
This creature is currently under containment at Site 63. SCP-457 is kept in a 5mm by 5mm chamber with no less than 22.9 centimeters of fireproofing material upon all surfaces, and a blast-proof observation window with emergency blast shielding installed. The opening to the chamber consists of at least 2 temperature-controlled and airtight chambers that may be sealed in case of an emergency breach. SCP-457's chamber is kept at high humidity with a drainage system installed in the floor, as well as a misting sprinkler system installed and running constantly, and emergency hoses capable of at least 2.1 MPa of water pressure. The creature is allowed a small structure upon the wall of its chamber that remains water-free, but only allows for minimal protection and preservation of form. All personnel entering SCP-457's chamber should be wearing at least Class A temperature-controlled, flame-retardant sealed suits,
Does it not
and
know
enter
what
in
the
groups of
minimum size of that SCP looks like? Because it's not a black man with fire on it. It's just a little flame.
Also, watch the middle guy's arm, 'cause if you watch it, it looks like the hose is connected to his arm.
and enter in groups of 3, with 2 members.
So he's
What did
shooting.
what did you say, Braid?
Watch as the a guy's arm move, because it looks like the hose connected to the
You-
arm and not the
you're-
box.
You're cutting out a whole bunch, but I get what you're saying.
I hate Discord. I fucking hate Discord. Fucking Discord bitch. Anyways.
Well, that's mean.
Watch his arm.
Sealed suits, and enter in groups of 3, with 2 members.
Yeah.
So that means that anything that comes out of that tube is coming out of that person's body.
Or is inside of the suit, which actually makes the white more uncomfortable. Either this man is an SCP that is a human-shaped fire extinguisher, or and we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Members equipped with high-grade blast shields and emergency fire extinguishers. Personnel should only enter SCP-457's chamber in order to supply SCP-457 with its daily allotment of fuel material, or to examine and repair any damage to the chamber or sprinkler systems. Should SCP-457 engage personnel in a hostile manner, it is to be controlled via emergency extinguishers and hoses until it retreats back to its safe chamber. In the event that SCP-457 breaks containment, emergency sprinkler systems will be triggered, and personnel will be supplied with extinguishers and blast shielding. The creature's core form is as small as a single flame, comparable to a matchstick. In this state, SCP-457 does not make any sign of communication or sentience, apart from
candle. That's not what a matchstick is. I mean, it's just as big, but still a matchstick.
I'm dreaming of accurate SCP videos,
Now,
just like the ones I used to know. But no,
If
it's
you want
just
if you want
slop.
accurate, you have to watch the Vulcan.
Oh, it's just slop. Shoveled down the tube
Well,
into
if you think
my
about it,
unwilling mouth.
I mean, if you think about it, in a bit we're gonna hear the Vulcan. Anyways,
One bit of solace.
3, 2, 1.
from occasionally moving to burn a human's hand or to jump to a source of fuel in order to grow larger. When SCP-457 finds more fuel, it grows larger, and with this growth comes an increased growth in intelligence and sentience. Additionally, it will grow to produce an outline of a man's silhouette which is formed by its own flame. Once SCP-457 reaches an unknown threshold of size and fuel source, SCP-457 splits into 2 beings, and so on and so forth. However, multiple beings of SCP-457 are aggressive towards each other and will either attempt to consume or extinguish their doubles, especially if there is only a limited amount of fuel at hand. SCP-457's behavior is largely predictable, as its goals are simply to acquire larger sources of fuel and to spread. The danger of SCP-457 comes from its ability to increase intelligence with size, and apparent ability to learn and mimic behaviors. This has led to its purposely damaging and sabotaging sprinkler systems, and in rare circumstances, setting up relatively complex traps. It has also attempted to trick or reason with personnel to be released, or have access to more fuel.
It's just wiggling its little arm dick at them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle.
Although
Like,
these
yeah,
attempts
that's
have
gonna
all
get them to come
have access to
closer.
more fuel.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Although these attempts have all been a failure on the creature's part. An example of one of these complex traps is the incident that took place in March of 2019. SCP-457 managed to convince one of the
Wiggle,
personnel
wiggle.
on site to enter its chamber after claiming it would reveal the secrets of the universe if the personnel entered its chamber. It is noted that this individual had just been moved to SCP-457 site.
Reveal the secrets to the universe. I like how Jerry's just been dead quiet for so long.
Actually, I kind of blanked out for some reason. I don't know. I think it's because I'm so thirsty. My photophobia just kind of went, where is world? What is life? And you know what? Maybe that was well placed.
Your photophobia is trying to get you out of this situation.
Yeah, also, I
Maybe
don't
I
think
should
it.
grab some water. I'll be right back.
That's a good idea.
I don't think it ever
I will not
mentioned
let my brain float
that
off.
it knew the secrets to the universe.
It's just- uh, why are they like this?
You know why?
Like, yes, the flame guy knows the secrets of the universe.
I am coming back because I am here. So I'm technically back.
All right,
Congratulations. Did
But
you
what
talk
was
with?
a floating eyeball? What did I miss?
it's not
So
what.
that's not a floating eyeball.
Hmm.
That's a top. That's their best attempt at a top-down view of a guy. They're trying.
Yeah, they said that the Burning Man said if you come into this containment chamber, I'll show you the secrets to the universe.
Well, if it makes SCP Exposed feel better, that is actually a half decent eyeball. That's not what they're trying to do, but it's a half decent eyeball.
Site and was also a newly appointed Level 2 member. Thus, he was a vulnerable candidate for the creature's manipulation. Once the individual entered the chamber, SCP-457
eyeball.
proceeded to lunge out and attempt to burn him. However, luckily for the individual, the creature had not been fed yet and was still very weak.
Just falls to the floor.
If they were weak, then they would be smaller.
Yeah, he just goes like, I will lunge at the. Oh, I'm tired.
All around me are familiar faces.
Thus, he managed to escape with his life, although it could have turned out much differently.
He just casually walks out. He managed to escape with his life. Casually walks away.
Luckily, the man escaped from the harrowing situation. It just shows a guy casually walking away. It sounds like a fucking dumbass skit you'd find on YouTube.
Yeah. Three, two, one.
If SCP-457 had already been fed. SCP-457 is able to communicate with Foundation personnel, either through letterings made by flames, or scorch marks on the walls, or through verbal speech, although this is a rarity. When the creature was first captured and contained at Site-63, it proceeded to write out insults against humans on the walls of its chamber, such as,
"Humans will burn.
and
Fire succeeds all."
It didn't do that.
in the years of its containment,
Why is it? Why are they so insistent on just randomly characterizing the hungry flame thing as actively malicious?
Okay, so
I
here's
think they heard that it could write and decided, you know what, let's use this to make him look like a psychopath.
the thing. They're gonna make
But
it.
it did.
I'm gonna show you why they made it even worse than that.
right out
no.
Show
insults
the
against
only
humans on the
person where it's showing humans shall burn.
walls of its chamber, such as
Humans will burn.
and
Fire succeeds all.
in the years of its containment.
I think we need to mark racism.
Like, normally I'd be trying to do devil's advocate, but nah, guy. Really? The only
Never
time you show
a
a
single black man
the-
in multiple videos is the first one we get.
yeah, the only like the first time you show a black man in several videos, and it's him being threatened with his life. Yeah, okay, bud. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's definitely not belying some extremely questionable undertones at all.
It basically makes it worse because it's like humans shall burn and burning stuff, and in the past there was a lot of
The-
burning with.
Yeah.
Burning
Yes.
is well known for a certain group to do against black people as a whole.
Yeah,
As both a
that's,
scare tactic and a promise,
that's why
and
this.
other bad things.
Yeah, the second I saw it, I was like, oh no.
The fact, although I will give Aaron a point. Good job. You actually picked up on that faster than Jiri or I.
Well, I think
I'm-
our brains are toasted, but I'm very happy you cut up on that.
Yeah,
You
because
are
like
learning.
I'm very used to you like being slower to pick up on undertones like that. Well, at this point it's an undertone in the same way that like the title of the Lord of the Rings is an undertone, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You picked
Oh.
up on it. You picked up on it faster than we did.
Congratulations, you're getting better at spotting it.
Yay, I can
May-
detect
maybe-
racism.
Maybe. Wait a second. Was it the name Bright that was the problem?
Oh my god.
We started calling her Erin, and suddenly she's noticing more.
Suddenly she's not. Well, she's still a dipshit, but not as much of a dipshit.
Anyways.
Come on, you know how we are. I'm not gonna turn down a chance to take a shot at you. Okay.
Is Bookworm proud of me? Also, let's continue.
At the Foundation, SCP-457 has only held one single conversation with Foundation personnel,
Wow, we're
which
gonna
was
get
a
to the Vulcan
monumental
now.
discovery, as previously it only spoke in short gasps and small sentences. The creature is able to produce verbal speech through high-pressure, superheated air and the crackling and pops of flames. The following is an interview conducted between
Yeah.
Dr. Arnold and SCP-457.
Can you speak currently? Yes. Good.
Just wondering, should I just skip the Vulcan part? So, because this is just literally his stuff ripped.
Yeah, probably should. We know it's gonna be a half. We know exactly what's gonna be in this part. It's like half-assed, terrible looking animation miming out a very well put together audio log.
I will say it's interesting they assumed the character Vulcan voiced is a white man.
Oh yeah, isn't he not? Or something
I
like
have
that?
no idea.
I know he's dyslexic, so he's admitted to that on X.
No, I was saying the character, not Vulcan themselves.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Also, right, just call it Twitter.
Oh yeah, Twitter. Alright, I skipped the Vulcan, because that's the only good part of the video.
Why'd you have to put it like that? We're skipping the only good part of the video.
Well, they're not wrong. Not
Yeah.
wrong.
I
Find the
know.
other good part.
Yeah.
Where? I'm like, where's the other good part? You're like, Hatchet turned into turkey.
Yeah. 3, 2. And 3, 2, 1.
SCP-457 managed to severely damage much of the sprinkler system and destroy a portion of the fuel injector that had been sustaining its intelligent form. giving it free access to several gallons of gasoline. The interview transcript was recorded via security footage from before the blast. How SCP-457 managed to exploit the weakness of its chamber is unknown, and it has since been moved to a higher security chamber.
It was found out.
Well, no, like it was unknown as to how it pieced together
Right.
how to do it like that.
They just worded it badly because they're stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
SCP-457's origins are unknown. Some researchers theorize the creature is a former human being who was involved in some sort of accident or
What?
mishap that resulted in a change in its genetic
that's
code.
not a theory.
Added plot. Added plot.
I want to go back here. What?
Some researchers theorize the creature is a former human being who was involved in some sort of accident or mishap that resulted in a change in its genetic code and
What?
sort of merging
It
with the
doesn't have
closest element.
genetics.
Yeah.
If it has genetics, it's in the form that it has that is not fire. It is technically not fire. It creates fire when it consumes.
I think what they're trying to do is explain an SCP, but the whole thing about SCPs is that they can't be explained. Unless they have
Well,
the
they
EX.
can be explained. It's just the current theories have nothing to do with they were once human. Look at the DNA.
Yeah.
This thing is a transparent being that creates fire when it consumes, and it consumes things like a fire, but it has a transparent body. They use the fire to find it.
Yeah.
And hunger.
Do y'all remember when life had meaning?
Oh my god.
I don't.
Oh my god. Anyways, in 3, 2, 1.
Element to it, presumably fire. Others theorize it is an evolved form of fire, perhaps triggered by a nuclear reaction of some sort.
What
few
the
believe
fuck
S-
are you talking about? Just shut up! It's an evolved form of fire. What the fuck is that even supposed to mean, guy? What? How do you evolve fire? Fire is not a living organism.
I feel like the SCP Foundation's vague explanation of we don't know, but here's what we do know is way better.
And it's like a legitimately scientific one at that.
Yeah. Anyways, in 3, 2, 1.
SCP-457 is an alien life form, whilst the more religious members believe it is a being from hell. Whatever the case,
As we all know, the SCP Foundation's inner workings are primarily decided by the religious beliefs of everyone within the interior workings of the SCP Foundation.
No, that's the GOC. Sorry. I'm sorry, that was a bit snappy.
I think it's more accurate to the I forget its name, but like the Saudi one.
Well, the Global Occult Coalition is like a bunch of religious put together. It's just not as extreme.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's finish it.
the Foundation has not made a sound conclusion as to exactly where SCP-457 came from. It appears to be destructive and violent, thus its containment is crucial in order to protect the outside world. As of now, Foundation personnel are working on a method.
It's just hungry. It doesn't understand what it's doing.
Yeah. Anyways.
To perhaps harness SCP-457's power
Why
source.
did they add
Although-
so much violence?
I don't know.
I feel like they're being racist against fire. Fuck!
Fire cyst. To be fair, that's like a really common way that people portray fire when put into a characterization, which is just the best thing that can be said about that characterization of fire is that it's bland and boring.
Yeah, anyways, us. We're gonna get to the test.
These experiments are still under work. So, what did you think of that
So you
SCP
didn't
case?
even talk about the 2 tests at the bottom.
I think we need to mark changing the plot to a 4.
Maybe. Alright,
At this point, with how aggressively they did it, I wouldn't be too. I wouldn't be too opposed to that.
Like literally the only part that seemed to not deviate from the article was the part they stole from the Vulcan, so I don't think we can even count that.
yeah.
Like it's again that thing where it's like the overall structure is still intact. It's just they're adding in so many little things that weren't in there that it feels like a a, a, a cavalcade of half truths.
Yeah, and they changed the personality of the SCP.
Yeah, it's just like
I mean, it's still violent and destructive, but not on purpose. And it does not target black men.
uh yeah, it's like it's the difference between like taking a child who's fascinated with fire and comparing it to the guy whose favorite activity is throwing Molotovs at gas stations.
Yeah.
Character license, I guess, would be like a 1 or 2.
I would yeah. I would put it at like 1 or 2.
What do you think, Bright? 1 or 2?
I think I'll go with 2 because they did fuck up the description of the SCP. It's a different.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fair
fair, too.
That's fair enough. They managed to give the description of a different SCP.
Yeah. Anyways, added gore or violence.
4.
4
They,
somehow.
like comparatively to like other examples of like added gore and violence, it's not as extreme, but I feel like they by making this being inherently more aggressively violent,
Yeah, they
it
changed
it,
it
it
from like
bumps it up
this neutral
significantly.
thing that's just really fucking aggressively hungry
Yeah.
Yeah.
to like I like to murder humans.
Also,
I mean, aggressively hungry is dangerous on its own. You don't need to make it racist.
yeah, DV's for the plot of the article.
4.
Yeah, I'm fine with that at this point.
Yeah, only minute video such offensiveness.
That's
They
a
only
solid
had
3
men,
or
but
4.
that might have been good. The women got out scot free.
I'd give it a solid 3.
I think it's
Leaning towards
a
4.
4 because 1, it had no women. 2, the only black man they showed was that.
You're getting threatened to being burned to death.
I'm not gonna argue against it being 4. I was saying like I would say it's a solid 3 and like leaning toward
Oh,
4.
okay. So
So
you were saying like solid 3, maybe 4, and I'm just like
yeah,
giving reasons for it to be a 4. I wasn't even done, but I guess I don't need to finish.
yeah. Like I'm not gonna fight on that one.
You're like, why are you doing this? I'm fine
It's-
with 4.
It's just like don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot.
I wasn't trying to shoot. I got way
I
over
know.
Oh,
myself.
I get what you mean. It's fair.
holy
And
shit.
the last 2 was just how psychopathically and consistently racist they were against the fire for some reason.
Yeah,
What did the fire do to them?
yeah. Also, this SCP dropped half the percentage of the previous one.
And it's still not the worst we've seen.
Hatch, do you want to read the final one?
I suppose.
Yeah, it's 787. Let me get its nickname for you.
I will still say that I am generally still kind of uncomfortable with the use of the term psychopath like that.
Oh, oh,
Sorry.
gotcha.
It's alright. It's just bleh.
Uh, this
It's
is.
understandable. I used it by mistake.
Oh,
No,
oh.
it's hard to beat habits.
We've done this SCP before. It's the yay pancakes plain
Yeah, we already
SCP.
know that, but we still have to read it again.
Yeah,
It'll be fun at least.
yeah. This is the plane that never was.
Okay.
Everyone that's been on that plane is technically alive, just not on the plane.
Okay. Item number SCP-787. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. 787 is currently contained within Hangar 04 at Sector 28 Sector 28. Security cameras and sound recording equipment are to be stationed in the cockpit, passenger area, and baggage hold of 787 to record any anomalous events. In the event of an anomalous activity within 787, access to the interior of 787 is to be prohibited for a minimum of 72 hours. Oh, it's going to be another one of those that has me saying the number a lot. 787 is a Boeing 74. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Awesome.
Sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry for laughing at your
it's
expense.
very funny. It's funny. Don't worry. I don't take offense. Okay. 787 is a Boeing 747-200 airliner of unknown manufacturing date and call sign. The exterior of 787 has been painted over, including all passenger windows. Paint was wet upon recovery, drying soon after. The mechanical components of 787 are all undamaged and functional and show no signs of use. Non-mechanical components of 787 are all undamaged and functional and show no signs of use. Non Wait. Oh, I just mixed that up. I did that thing where I continued reading and then skipped a line up. Maybe.
It's okay.
Non-mechanical components of 787, including carpeting, upholstery, and luggage, are in an advanced state of decay. The pilot and co-pilot seats have been removed, replaced with two piles of computer components arranged in the shape of chairs. 787 initially manifested on June redacted 1987 in a field located approximately redacted kilometers from Bremerton, Washington. 787 contains the bodies of 515 deceased individuals, henceforth referred to as 787A. The cause of death varies among specimens, with causes including strangulation, asphyxiation, drowning, starvation, bullet wounds, stab wounds, blunt force trauma. Certain mutilations are common throughout 787A specimens, regardless of cause of death, including removal of the tongue, 23 instances, scalping, 73 instances, carving of Cyrillic letters into the left palm, 230 instances, no pattern found, and removal of fingertips, 498 instances. All 787A specimens are in advanced stages of decay, but have shown no signs of further petrification since recovery. Visual, appar- visual apparitions, unexplained noises, and other phenomena will spontaneously manifest within 787. These incidents have not occurred when 787 is occupied. Attempts to enter 787 after these events will result in violent physical expulsion from 787 by an unknown force, accompanied by severe organ damage and internal bleeding. Ugh. Recorded anomalous activity within 787 includes. Excuse me. Let's see, what is that? August 1st, 1988. Sound of pounding against doors and windows on the left side of 787, lasting several minutes and 15 seconds. 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Interior cameras picked up no movement during this period. February 23rd, 1990. Male voice heard in forward men's wash closet, repeating the phrase, philosophers always run from the advanced thickening treatment. The advanced thickening treatment. 5 times. October 6th, 1993. In-flight movie activates, displaying a repeated series of 7 black and white still images of a deceased male human, accompanied by a female voice reading a gynecological manual in Czech. Lasts for 43 minutes. December 27th, 1993. Fasten seatbelts sign flickers on and off for 3 hours and 41 minutes, accompanied by a repeated loop of the first 15 seconds of Jefferson Plains White Rabbit played over the speaker system. This is the longest recording anomalous event within 787. Oh, what's this 7th month? Seventh month. That would be June, July 30th, 1997. Indistinct humanoid figure manifests in aisle next to seat H43. And removes the emergency air supply. Figure places breathing mask on and stands still for 2 minutes and 15 seconds before removing mask and walking out of frame. Figure does not appear on any other cameras. January 15th, 2001. Manifestation of an indistinct humanoid figure approximately 1 meter in height. Figure sits in the co-pilot's chair for 3 minutes and 50 seconds, making soft whimpering noises before excuse me, before vomiting onto the control console and exiting the cockpit. Examination of the vomit revealed traces of nitrous oxide, thorium, bird droppings, and 3 human fingernails. I don't know what nitrous oxide is, but I know that thorium is highly radioactive.
Let me look it up because I know what it is, but I'm bad at wording things.
Yeah. Like you're looking up nitrous oxide?
Yeah.
Yeah. As I know,
Because, like
thorium
I
is
said,
like,
I know what it is,
yeah,
but I'm bad at describing things.
yeah. I know that thorium is like one of the like commonly proposed alternatives to using uranium in nuclear power plants.
Nitrous oxide, also known as laughing gas, it leads to a state of
Uh,
euphoria.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's laughing gas,
It
radioactive
is
element, bird
also,
shit, and 3 human
yeah,
fingernails.
it is also the least potent inhalable anesthetic.
Yeah. Well, the more you know.
You should also probably not breathe it in too much.
Yeah. As with most gases that aren't oxygen. Let's see. 5. Oh my God, it's fucking. We're halfway through May already. Time is such bullshit. Okay. Existential dread aside. May 5th, 2005, a female voice is heard through 787 saying, For your comfort and enjoyment, today pancakes will not be served. Please do not, will now be served, not be served. Pancakes will now be served. Please do not leave your seats. Pancakes will now be served. Please do not leave your seat. Do not leave your seat. Leave your seat, please. Pancakes will now be served. Yay, pancakes!
Sorry.
Uh, um, 9, so that's September 9th, 2007. Emergency air supplies deployed and retracted repeatedly for 14 minutes 15 seconds, accompanied by screaming from a group of 10 to 20 people. Pitch of screaming shifted depending on current position of breathing masks. 11 11/29, so that's November 29th, 2008. Internal temperature shifts from 20 degrees Celsius to negative 13 degrees Celsius over the space of 19 seconds, remaining at this temperature for 10 minutes and 29 seconds before resuming average temperature. Well, that's uncomfortable. I think 20 degrees Celsius is just room temp, so negative 13 is uh, like significantly below freezing temp. That just makes me want to play Phasmophobia. There's a bug on my screen. Move. Move, little friend. Addendum 01. December 13th, 2007. The identity of. Ah. The identity of SCP 787A 112 has been determined to be that of redacted, a retired optometrist currently living in Atlanta, Georgia. Subject was interviewed by Foundation agents on December 14th and was found to have no knowledge or memory of any anomalous incidents taking place in June of 1987. In addition, Mr. Redacted claimed that he had never ridden in an airplane in his life, a claim verified by his wife and son. Attempts to identify other passengers are currently underway. Well, that's not disconcerting at all. Addendum 02. May the 22nd of 2009. Oh. Examination of SCP-787's waste storage tank revealed an additional specimen of 787A, designated 787A-516. They hadn't checked that for that long.
Yep.
Okay. Being an Indian male, approximately 30 years of age, subject was in possession of the following: 3-piece tailored suit, surgical mask, and rubber gloves, unloaded Beretta DT-10 shotgun, 1 box of Tic Tac brand mints containing 14 cinnamon flavor mints, switchblade. Handle is carved into the appearance of a nude woman. An Eye of Horus amulet, constructed of recycled aluminum and twine. SCP-787's flight log. The coordinates -27.41, -122.7 were logged 5,478 times. Ticket stub for Return of the Jedi. The number 92 is written on the back in permanent marker. SCP-787A-516 does not display a similar state of decay as the rest of 787A specimens. Cause of death is unknown. Addendum -03. 6, so that's June 19th, 2013. SCP-787's flight data recorded has been recovered from a compartment underneath the floor of seat A13. The device was wrapped in a butcher paper and the compartment filled with asbestos and dried human blood. Flight data recorded the flight data recorder contained nothing but the phrase "to be sorry." Well, this one's just really fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Besides the pancakes.
Yay, pancakes. Actually, that's creepy in its own way, too. Think of
Yeah.
this. Everyone is gone. And for some reason, with no living people, it says, "For your comfort and enjoyment today, pancakes will now be served. Please do not leave your seat. Pancakes will now be served. Please do not leave your seat. Do not leave your seat. Leave your seat, please. Pancakes will now be served. Yay, pancakes!"
Yeah. Also, I just punched those coordinates in, and the location that those coordinates are is in the close to dead center of the South Pacific Ocean, about halfway between the island of Ahangaroa and the Pitcairn Islands.
Hmm.
No way am I pronouncing those correctly. But yeah, it's dead center in the middle of the ocean.
Alright, are we ready to see the thumbnail?
Maybe.
Okay, let's see how clickbaity it is. You know, we haven't seen a very big clickbait in a while.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
feels like I'd give it a 1.
I would give it
Maybe a
more
2.
than one. Think of it.
Maybe
There's
a
not
2.
actually any blood splattered anyway, even though there's tons of bodies. But in this, there's blood everywhere. They're trying to make it as bloody as possible, specifically to get you interested. Also,
Did it
they
say
look
that there was
way
people?
more decayed than this. This looks fresh.
True.
None
True,
of them
true.
look fresh.
Wait, I also just realized that wouldn't the plane smell god awful with all the corpses?
Probably.
But yeah, the more accurate description of the plane is no blood spread everywhere. They don't look like they've been mass super dead by various means of not natural. There's no blood gushing out of the eyeballs that I recall. And I've definitely
Yeah.
read this multiple times or heard read multiple times.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they look way more decayed than that. And where's the ones that look? Oh, there's one back there, never mind. But either way, the point is they're supposed to look way more decayed than this, and they're not supposed to look like this bloody. There's
Yeah.
not supposed to be
Yeah.
blood everywhere. And I'm sorry, I'm ranting. That is not a 1.
I guess my first thought is like when they're being described as having been scalped and fingers chopped off. Like, I feel like in the brain that pretty naturally brings to a pretty, like, bloody scene.
Well, it would look bloody on their body, but the blood is congealed. Also, there's no scalp victims there.
That's true.
So literally, they're just doing injuries, not to be accurate, but literally just to get you clickbaiting.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
None
Like,
of
I do.
none of the
Yeah.
injuries described in there are shown on that. It's literally clickbait, totally inaccurate in every way besides airplane and dead
Yeah.
bodies.
Yeah. Then maybe a 3.
Yeah,
Alright.
it hasn't gotten a 3 in a sure how I feel about that.
Alright. Let's see what's in here. Let's see if the Vulcan is in here again. Well, technically, this could be the author in the description, the Joric, because in November, it was last updated in November 2021.
You know,
And-
let me look up the author of 787 because I do not want to let them off.
Eh. Forgot. I was supposed to have the Wayback Machine up. What?
You were.
Hold on. It's... Wow, it was actually created in 2029. Not 2029. 2009.
It was originally written by Moose Fisher, but it was rewritten.
Let's see.
It was a rewrite of an article by Moose Fisher, so it's technically not Moose Fisher's. It's someone else and Moose Fisher.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So
cause...
there has to have a minimum of 2 people cited. If they want to cite people at all, since everyone who works there is anonymous, typically, unless they want to be known. And obviously, the person who did this doesn't want to be known. So they pulled a name out of their ass.
Yeah, I mainly just went back in the past for January 20th, 2021, because that's before February 16th, 2021. See if the author was there.
Yeah.
No. They were not. Yeah, anyways. Alright. We ready to actually watch the video?
You know what I'm gonna
Yeah.
say to that.
Alright.
What's this? He's handsome.
Alright.
This will need to be the last SCP of the night, though, because I do laundry and eat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Anyways, you ready? I'll assume yes. In 3, 2, 1.
The farmer went around the farm doing his usual odd
What?
jobs. He swept up the barn,
The farmer
checked on the
ran around
chickens,
his
then
farm.
went out to the field to round up the cattle.
Wait a minute. Go back.
Checked on the chicken.
This is the best piece of artwork they have ever done, and it's a little botched chicken.
Don't call that an accurate chicken. But you didn't.
I did. I call it a botched chicken.
Also,
Then went out to the field to round.
why are the cows under near his anus?
Technically, they put the udder where their
Well,
maybe they think female cows don't have vagina, but the babies just come out of a mysterious somewhere. Poof, magic, baby's out.
Also-
it's obvious that all cow babies are butt babies.
Also, they gave them horns.
There are cows that
Yeah,
have
there's-
horns that are female.
Ow.
Those are pink horns, but
I don't know why they're pink, but
They also, I do not believe the horns face that direction.
And
oh, I said, yeah.
Can
That's this.
3, 2, 1.
Up the cattle. But as he entered the field, his jaw dropped.
Did they give the
There,
cows
sitting-
pink horns because they're female? I'm sorry, keep going. Do we have to mark sexism because the fucking
No, I don't
No.
think so, but that's a funny observation.
I feel like we need to mark it. It won't get a point or anything, but it needs to be marked.
I highly doubt that was a conscious choice.
Yeah, doubt it as well. Anyways, in 3, 2, 1.
Sitting silently in the middle of his field was a plane. The farmer scratched his head in confusion
Well-
as he stared at the
I would still like bad anatomy clicked if that is an option.
That's that's fair. Normally that would be reserved for humans, but I mean it's bad
They put
cow
her tits
anatomy,
where
so
her vagina should be.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
bad cow anatomy, so I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
It's bad anatomy of some terrestrial being.
I mean, the lady parts wouldn't be in that exact spot, but that is not the point. That is not where the boobs go.
As we all know, the mammaries are directly next to the vulva.
Yeah.
Let's just think of this. The babies are meant to drink from that. Why are they imagining the babies drink from her crotch?
Oh God.
You know, let's just press play.
the massive plane. Yesterday, it hadn't been there. Had someone landed here just now? But why here? And why in this field?
Wait, was
He
that
decided
part
to
of the article?
investigate things
I don't
further and
remember
walked
that.
over to
No.
the staircase was
This
open,
is all
so
just
he cl-
random. This is all just added by them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what
Like,
I thought. I was just
the
thinking,
only-
wait, did I forget something?
Literally, the only part of this that's accurate is that it was initially discovered in some field near a town in Washington.
So
That's
instead of
it.
a field, they had it in a farm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like on a field next to a farm. They just took the idea of it's
They
in a
added
field,
the farm.
and they just plopped a farm down next to it. I guess just for an excuse for them to draw botched chickens and cows.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. In 3, 2, 1.
things further and walked over to the plane. The staircase was open, so he climbed up into the plane. He noticed the side of the plane appeared to have just been painted over. He found this unusual, as why would someone paint a plane in his field? This was private property.
Pause. Go back just a touch. The turbines are levitating off the wings of this plane. I hate it here.
In 3, 2, 1.
It was dark and ominous inside the plane. He stepped in and looked around. Then he screamed.
Wait, hold on. Why do they look like toilets?
They kind of do.
Okay, apparently the placement of the boobs on horned cows are slightly different than the cows I'm used to. Apparently their boobs are slightly further back for some reason,
Huh.
which confuses me because these are the cows that, let me just click the cows I'm used to. Goddamn, people like getting in.
Well, they definitely didn't draw those cows.
The cows I'm used to look like the one that's loading, which their boobs are in a different placement, and I never knew cows could have differently placed boobs depending on the type of cow.
We could just call them udders.
No, we're
They're
calling
cow
them
boobs.
Uh,
The cow
Cow
boobs are differently
boobs.
placed apparently depending on the cow.
oh, that's not too surprising because, like, I think the cow that you've shown is like the more domesticated dairy cow. And I'm
Mhm.
guessing that the other cow type is probably closer to their
I
original
think the
wild
other one is the
ancestors.
longhorn, the Texan cows.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I think they're like genetically speaking closer in relation to the original wild bovines that they were derived from.
yeah. Also,
Okay, that's fair enough.
also, do you like cow thighs or cow boobs?
I'd like
Right.
you to drop off a cliff.
Anyways,
Screamed. In each seat was a passenger, and all of them were dead.
They all just look so fucking asleep. In each seat, yeah, just in each seat, there was a passenger. There's not a passenger in each seat. There's one for every column. 2, they all look asleep. 3, at least we've got like one woman, I think, unless it's a guy with a ponytail. I think the guy in
Oh
the
no,
very
it
back
looks like a guy with a ponytail.
kinda does. And I think the guy in the back looks to have a bit of a darker skin tone, but it may be the lighting, and also it's certainly a choice to put the only darker skinned person towards the back of the plane.
oh
That
god.
doesn't make me think of anything at all.
Okay,
But
so Nick, the
None
guy,
of them look dead.
yeah. Also, the guy
no,
next.
they all
What's
sleep.
that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the guy next to the guy with the ponytail. It looks like he's about to take a shit.
that guy has just taken so many laxatives because he is all of the constipation.
Yeah, and the guy.
That guy is having a fucking battle on the toilet.
Yeah, and the one in the far bag is just the result because he looks so relieved.
Ugh,
Oh my
it's
god.
so stupid.
Passenger, and all of them were dead. Welcome back to SCP Exposed.
What's with the fucking echo?
Of course, like they had the echo, but of course they can't be bothered to even slightly accurately show how many people would be on the plane.
Man.
There's fucking 515 passengers. 16 if you count the Indian guy in the fuselage.
Yeah.
Or not the fuselage, it was the onboard waste section.
Yeah.
So basically the plane sewer.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Today we bring you a safe class object,
Oh my God.
SCP-787. The plane is a Boeing 747-200 airliner of unknown manufacturing date and source. The exterior
Why are
of
you
the
showing
plane
it
has been painted
flying?
over, including all
Right.
passenger windows. The paint was wet
It's
upon
never
recovery.
flown. Maybe it
It's
did in an alternate universe, but it hasn't in this one.
like it's got a flight log, but the flight log's banged up, and the actual machinery in the plane indicates that it's never flown.
Yeah.
It should not be being shown flying. They're literally going out of they're going out of their way to put in more effort to make it less accurate. You could literally just show a bunch of panning shots of it sitting in the field or sitting in a warehouse, and that would be more accurate and take less effort.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
they
see
thought-
the sort of injuries they're supposed to have. The bodies.
Yeah, let's
Let's
see if
see.
they get that.
Strangulation, so there's supposed to be marks in at least one body. Drowning, so they're supposed to look bloated and pale. Starvation, so they're supposed to look like basically bones with skin. Bullet wounds, we didn't see that. Stab wounds, we didn't see that. Blunt force trauma, we did not see that.
Right.
They
Yeah.
all just looked like they died in their sleep, if they were dead at all.
Yeah. Also, I like how they put so much work in it, having the plane move, and you just look at the buildings in the background.
Yeah.
There's like, all right, we're gonna do sketches of buildings and we'll call it a day.
They're gonna draw a handful of fucking rectangular shapes on this gray background and call it good. Yeah, that's a city.
Yeah.
Which I guess isn't totally wrong, but could do a lot better.
Right. Yeah. And 3, 2, 1.
Drying soon after. The mechanical components of the plane are all undamaged and functional and show no signs of use. Non-mechanical components of SCP-787,
Oh my god,
including
dude. Markdown
They
contradiction.
don't know what airplane seats look like. They just made them look like toilets.
Yeah. I'm
Just
just
did.
so annoyed. Like they cut from a shot of them depicting the plane flying to the instruments of the plane seem to appear to have never been used. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Ugh.
carpeting, upholstery, and luggage are in an advanced state of decay. The pilot and co-pilot seats have been removed, replaced with 2 piles of computer components arranged in the shape of chairs.
Why do they look like Star Wars robots?
They kind of look like droids, yeah.
I guess
Really-
that's what they think computer parts look like, propped in a
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah, random computer parts normally look like a really botched version of like a gonk droid. Let me get a
There's not
picture.
even seats for the droids to sit in.
Gonk droid. Images. Copy image. Go over to Discord. Gonk droid. They look like an incredibly botched version of that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was saying that it
Wait.
was worse because
Which is I'm sorry, I just also gotta I just also gotta laugh because like I never actually noticed this looking at like the first designs of the Gonk droid, but that's so obviously just a guy crammed into a box
Yeah.
with his legs sticking out. I feel sorry for the guy that was inside that suit.
Alright, let's continue with the video then.
Yeah, sure.
SCP-787 was initially discovered in a field near Bremerton, Washington in June 1987. Investigations into the surrounding area confirmed no eyewitness accounts of the plane having landed there or of the plane being transported to the field. The plane is currently contained within Hangar 4 on Foundation Site 53. Security cameras and sound recording equipment are to be stationed in the cockpit, passenger area, and baggage hold of SCP-787 to record any anomalous events. In the event of any anomalous activity within the plane, access to the interior of the plane is to be prohibited for a minimum of 72 hours.
Sporkhand returns with his
SCP-787
brother.
Yeah.
contains the bodies of 515 deceased individuals. The cause of death varies among specimens, with causes including strangulation, loss of blood, drowning, starvation, bullet wounds, stab wounds, and blunt force trauma. Despite these different causes of death, the specimens have been found with similar forms of mutilations, including
Hmm?
It's just so stupid. Like they just keep bouncing between things that like slightly resembles what they're saying and then immediately bounce back to something that doesn't resemble what they're saying at all.
Yeah. It's 3, 2, 1.
removal of the tongue, 23 instances, scalping, 73 instances, carving of Cyrillic letters into the left
Oh
palm.
my god. Do they So when they heard scalping, they thought that scalping means cutting off the entire top part of the cranium rather than just cutting off the skin. Are you kidding me, bro?
also note that they had the carving done specifically in the black person's hand. They haven't shown a black person like once besides the person in the back. And now
Yeah.
suddenly it's there.
Also, I wonder if this can actually be translated.
Oh,
Do you want me to try?
Sure, go ahead.
Do we want to put that much effort into it?
Oh,
Right.
don't worry.
Uh,
Detected language, English. Let me just turn something on so I can take a screenshot.
I don't think that. Are there people with that sort of grayish skin tone?
Probably not.
That's actually a grayish brown.
Huh.
There are people with a skin tone like that brown tone, but it is kind of weird to have a black person specifically have that on. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
no, like
sure why they wrote that way because that is English according to so they just wrote weird English. And let me put
Oh.
in the voice chat. Let me do there we go.
Carlovan Gymnasium?
my favorite activity is Karlovac Gymnasium.
Also, see what it said on Google Lens detect language English. So they lied about the language and they put something weird on the hand.
Or Google Lens is being fucky.
Alright. It'd be both. Anyways, let's finish this SCP of the night.
230 instances with no pattern found. And removal of fingertips, 498.
That's a
That's the
whole
whole ass-
hand!
Dude.
Yeah, quote
It's
unquote
like-
fingertips.
It's like they are trying to. Oh wait, you know what? Maybe what's trying to be depicted here is that whole expanse is the arm, and like those little things going out. Like I can kind of see like
No,
that could
No.
sort of be a hand, but like
no.
it just kind of looks like a bloodied sleeve.
Mm,
It's a bloody sleeve.
yeah. Anyways, let's finish
Instances.
this last
All
SCP.
specimens are in advanced stages of decay, but have shown no signs
So
of decaying
advanced.
further. They appear almost frozen in state. Visual apparitions or unexplained noises will spontaneously manifest within SCP-787. These incidents have not occurred when the plane is occupied by Foundation personnel. Attempts to enter the plane after these events will result in individuals being violently forced away from the plane by some unknown presence, accompanied by severe organ damage and internal bleeding. The period this secondary effect remains varies, but has not lasted longer than 72 hours. The following is a list of anomalous events that have taken place inside SCP-787. August 1st, 1988. The sound of pounding against doors and windows on the left side of the plane could be heard, lasting 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Interior cameras picked up no movement during this period. February 22nd, 1997. A male voice was heard in the forward men's wash closet, repeating the phrase, "Philosophers always run from the advanced thickening treatment," 5 times. October 6th, 2003. The in-flight movie activated, displaying a repeating series of 7 black and white still images of a deceased male human, accompanied by a female voice reading a vacuum cleaner manual in Czech. This lasted for 43 minutes. December 27th, 2009.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah?
They changed the article to avoid saying gynecological. They
Oh my
didn't want
God.
to mention the vagina.
That's right. They censored out the vagina.
Uh, it's just would that fall into sexism?
Yes.
I feel like that would, because on one hand, like I can kind of understand trying to avoid certain terms to avoid demonetization, but in
They've
this
been
case,
doing
it's
like
like
weird here's and there's, like there's literally no dead corpses, the pink cow horns, and now
yeah,
like it trying to avoid saying
yeah,
the vagina doctor.
yeah, like even like like just saying gynecological, I'm pretty confident that, well, I mean, YouTube being YouTube, but they'd probably take issue with you saying that. But like, that's a very
They
distinctly
would not.
medical
It's
term.
literally a doctor term.
Well, I
It's
mean,
literally a type
YouTube
of
has.
doctor. You'd have to start talking about the details they look at for them to care.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I know. It's just I've seen YouTube demonetize people for less.
yeah. Here's the
Oh
thing.
my
Speaking of
That's also
YouTube
bigger people.
demonetization, uh, uh, everyone knows about that one video that got forcibly taken off because I didn't explain medically why the picture in an SCP, not SCP, in a horror story
Creepypasta.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, creepypasta video. However, YouTube did not get upset with the crooked man picture because apparently underneath it shows victim of SCP. I forgot its number, and they deemed it fine because of that.
So I guess from now on, you just have to always give a caption that's like victim of whatever's happening.
Yeah.
It's just, but yeah, that's just. And plus the choice to change gynecological to vacuum cleaner is very. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's in 3, 2, 1.
The fasten seatbelt sign flickered on and off for 3 hours and 41 minutes, accompanied by a repeated loop of the first 15 seconds of White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane played over the speaker system. This is the longest recorded anomalous event within SCP-787. July 30th, 2011. An indistinct humanoid figure manifested in the aisle next to CH-43 and removed the emergency air supply. The figure placed the breathing mask on and stood still for 2 minutes and 15 seconds before removing the mask and walking out of frame. Figure did not appear on any other cameras. January 15th, 2013. A manifestation of an indistinct humanoid figure approximately 1 meter in height occurred. The figure sat in the co-pilot's chair for
Why is it like he's thinking of shit with no feet?
It's just so fucking botched.
Yeah.
He's taking a shit in a steampunk toilet.
And he's sitting on it at like a 45-degree angle to the back. Although on the bright side, since the article actually gives dates, the guy didn't feel the need to unredact the dates and punch in random bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he's for some reason just apparently irrationally scared of redaction in SCP articles. Redactophobia.
It's in 3, 2, 1.
for 3 minutes and 50 seconds, making soft whimpering noises before vomiting onto the control console and exiting the cockpit. Examination of the vomit revealed traces of nitrous oxide, thorium, bird droppings, and 3 human fingernails. May 5th, 2015.
I'm very confident it would not be green.
Yeah.
With those ingredients, I'm pretty sure it'd be very clear. But then again, this guy probably just thinks vomit equals green.
That is not how vomit typically looks, though.
Yeah, but it is how it looks in cartoons.
Yeah.
Anyways, 3, 2, 1.
Female voice was heard throughout the plane saying,
"For your comfort and enjoyment today, pancakes will now be served. Please do not leave your seat. Pancakes will now be served. Please do not leave your seat. Do not leave your seat. Leave your seat. Please, pancakes will now be served." Yeah.
Did he hire another voice actor?
No,
it's just
that's his voice, but heightened up. He literally modified his own voice
Wow.
instead of hiring a woman. So it's not a trans woman. It's just a man pretending to be a woman badly.
Damn. Anyways.
So here's my question. Who pulls it off better? This guy or me doing the Valley Girl voice?
You.
You.
Oh my god, you think I'm better than this guy while doing this voice? Oh my god.
You know
You
what?
guys are
I'd
God.
too
love to hear the
much.
Valley Girl voice do the pancakes.
Oh my god.
Okay, hold up. I gotta pull this up now. I accidentally shut it. What's the
I can
SCP's?
copy and paste that portion.
Okay, just do that. For your comfort and enjoyment, today pancakes will now be served. Please do not leave your seat. Pancakes will now be served. Please do not leave your seat. Do not leave your seat. Leave your seat, please. Pancakes will now be served. Yay, pancakes!
My god.
Why does that sound more unnerving than his?
I don't know.
I think it's because it's supposed to be unnerving because it has a lively while saying something so jarring. But the way he reads it with his badly modified voice, not even pretending to try to make try to speak like a woman, and he just sounds so lifeless that it doesn't. It sounds more like a machine.
Yeah. Anyways,
It's creepier when it sounds like a lady reading it, not like a robot.
there's 3, 2, 1.
Yay, pancakes.
September 8th, 2018. The emergency air supplies deployed
That
and
was the deadest
retracted
yay I've
repeatedly
ever
for
heard.
14
Yeah.
minutes 15 seconds, accompanied by screaming from a group of 10 to 20 people. Pitch of screaming shifted depending on the position of
Wait,
breathing
where is
masks.
the black person?
November 29th,
Don't worry
2019.
about it.
When they
The
show
internal
full
temperature and
view of the plane, they don't show him, but suddenly he exists when it falls. Fucking bullshit. And they
The
look
plane
alive.
shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they depicted something that makes no sense for it, and it's like they got like some constructive feedback from their fans, in
Yeah.
loose air quotes. That's like, hey, why is it only white people? So like as an afterthought at the end of editing, they're like, oh yeah, we keep being accused of being racist because it's nothing but the palest of pales in our videos. So let's just go in and just randomly add in some different skin tones, but only do it to one or two guys, and like not in like the bulk of what's being shown.
Yeah. We're
Like
almost
we're gonna
done.
keep using the same trash, but
Yeah.
when you look away from that trash, there'll be different skin tones.
Yeah. We're almost done. Yay. Anyways, 3, 2, 1.
Shifted from 20 degrees Celsius to 13 degrees Celsius over the space of 19 seconds, remaining at this temperature for 10 minutes and 29 seconds before resuming the average temperature. Several of the passengers on the flight have been identified. However, many of them possess unusual cases, such as SCP-787A-112, a retired optometrist whose wife and children confirmed he had never boarded a plane in his life. He is currently living in Atlanta, Georgia. Subject was interviewed by Foundation agents on December 14th and was found to have no knowledge or memory of any anomalous incidents taking place. The same case applied for SCP-787A-99. She was an old school teacher. Her family recalled her going missing one day with no
Huh?
Adding shit. This was not in the article.
Yeah.
explanation or warning. She lived in Atlanta with a husband and 3 children. She even showed an aversion to flying at the time. Only around 47% of the individuals on board the flight have been identified, however. This is mainly due to mutilations of fingerprints and disfigured faces. However, the Foundation is currently working to identify more of the passengers. Of course, the families of those deceased have been given false stories as to why their loved ones went missing and passed away, to avoid questioning from the public.
No.
Another unusual
No.
discovery of the
Oh
deceased
my
individuals.
No, they haven't been, because there's only one guy that's been fucking identified, and he's still alive.
Yeah.
I just they decide to add shit, but the stuff that they add is also just in complete opposition to what we actually know about the thing. They're like, oh, okay, we're gonna add this other woman who was a missing person. They disappeared. Ooh, even though the only body that we have the idea of is just a guy that's still alive.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Anyways, let's finish it. We're almost done.
You've
Within
said that exact phrase at
SCP-787
least
is the
12
fact that some
times.
appear to
Shut
have
up.
existed from different time periods. One individual was found with a
No,
pocket watch
they're
that
not
was
from different time periods.
What?
Oh my god, what are they doing?
Throwing random bullshit. Anyways.
They've
Ah.
added time travelers, apparently.
They added time travelers. They added random missing woman. What's next? Is one of them gonna be ID'd as an alien?
only produced in 1949 and was discontinued in the same year. Others were found with outdated attire, and one man even had a newspaper in his coat pocket dated 1924. This time period does not
Yeah,
align
sure
with the
did, huh,
invention of the
buddy?
Boeing airplane,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and thus
this
Foundation
totally
personnel
happened in
question
the
whether these objects were placed to throw off the Foundation.
What is this
or
one
whether
bozo with the hazmat suit doing? Everyone else is walking around in everyday fare, and this guy's just awkwardly walking around the outside of the plane in a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
were placed to throw off the Foundation, or whether these individuals really were from the past. How they ended up inside the plane, however, is still unknown. In February of 2008, an examination of SCP-787's waste storage tank revealed an additional deceased individual, an Indian male approximately 30 years of age. Subject was in possession of the following: a three-piece tailored suit, a surgical mask and rubber gloves, an unloaded Beretta DT-10 shotgun, one box of Tic Tac brand mints containing 14 cinnamon flavor mints, a switchblade, an Eye of Horus amulet constructed of recycled aluminum and twine, the plane's flight log, the coordinates -27.41, -122.70 were logged 5,478 times. A movie ticket for Return of the Jedi. The number 92 is written on the back in permanent marker. The deceased man did not display a similar state of decay as the rest of SCP-787 specimens.
Okay.
His cause of death is unknown. Foundation personnel wonder whether he is the overseer of the plane's manifestation, but
What?
this does not explain why he is dead, or how the plane appeared in the field in the first place. O5 personnel have encouraged Foundation members to offer any theories.
Yeah, that's definitely something that the SCP Foundation is thinking about.
Yeah.
That guy being the one who caused it all. That's
Uh-huh.
definitely a thing that's talked about.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
as to how SCP-787 appeared. So far, only a few stand as possible origin stories. The plane is actually an extreme decoy to hiding murder victims. It is a dimensional anomaly, perhaps
What?
of parallel universe sources, which could explain the different time periods of the passengers, and the anomalous events such as people speaking and shouting. It
What?
is of extraterrestrial origin. However, there is a lack of evidence to back up this theory.
What?
It just starts adding random bullshit.
DVs from the plot of
Although,
the article. Oh, wait,
I
not
guess
that. I mean,
I
sorry.
guess quickly, kudos. He actually said the O5 Council
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
General McGuffin 05.
Yeah. Anyways, rule character / license.
3. They didn't remove the license, but it feels like they modified the core so much and like changed so much that it basically removed like the characters themselves.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. It's like, to me, in a narrative like this, the corpses act less as like, for the most part, act less as characters and more as objects to the plot.
To
But
me, they're
things,
partial characters in that they've died in different ways. We may not know their genders or skin tone, but they exist, and it suggests that we don't know what happened to them. They can't speak, but their bodies speak, if that makes sense.
Okay, I guess that's fair
Yeah.
enough.
And they
Besides,
take the language of every single body there.
yeah, and alongside that, like, I feel like adding random bullshit characters and bodies would fall into that as well, so I'm fine with 3.
Yeah,
I think deviates goes to a 4.
Oh, definitely. But
Oh, yeah.
anyways, before that, added gore or violence.
4.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the 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 thumbnail showed a lot more blood
Do you want
than
it
was
3? Because it does not show as it doesn't really show a lot of gore.
it doesn't show a lot of gore, and 9 times out of 10 there's less gore than would actually be present.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but in general, they added more violence, a lot more violence.
Did they though?
Did they?
Like,
Well, they added random people that weren't there. They kept my brain kind of wiped out. They kept changing the injuries they had. They've added more blood, and while that's not gore, they still added more blood. So it adds for something. They added time travel, which is not blood or gore related, but they've just messed around with things so much that they changed the wounds themselves. And I feel like it has to count for something, especially with the weirdness with the carved hand.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I guess that's the thing is like maybe maybe it'd be better if instead of added gore violence, this general category was altered gore.
Altered slash added. That would make
Yeah,
sense.
like
Yeah.
altered slash added. Because to me, a lot of this isn't like added gore. It's just like altered in a way that like makes it feel different from the original
Yeah,
thing.
that's more appropriate because there are
And
times where we definitely speak like things like this, and I feel like it's disrespecting the corpses when they do shit like this. And come on, you can't say the writing on the black person's hand was not like
Yeah.
fucking
that's
a gymnasium.
yeah, that's just ugh.
Why'd they
Uh,
put Kalavach Gymnasium on a black person's hand?
Mhm.
I'm still like 90% certain that they just like put a bunch of random characters
Yeah.
and Google Lens is just being very fucky with them having made something very fucky.
Well,
Probably.
them accidentally writing words does not change that they wrote words.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Anyways,
But
so
yeah, I think I'd put it at around 3
3,
rather than
yeah. I can accept 3.
Davis Report article 4.
4. Yeah. We don't need to discuss that. It's just like half of the pauses was just like Jiri or I pointing out how they're doing something completely random and not a part of the article.
Yeah. Only men in the videos are submissiveness.
They were weirdly sexist against cows. They removed a vagina from the doctor. I do not recall seeing any women. Even the female voice was not woman. He was just like, I don't need to hire a voice actor. I
There
don't need
was
to hire a
there
woman.
was the
I don't even need to pretend to be woman.
there
I'll
was
just
this-
lighten my voice. It'll sound the same. It's totally lifeless.
yeah, there was a self-insert teacher that was female in the video.
Does that really count when the teacher wasn't really in the? Yeah, I guess it does. No, it doesn't.
They added a whammon. And I
They
think I
added a
saw like
women that
one.
wasn't there before, but they removed all the women.
Yeah, and I feel like I saw like 1 or 2 like corpses at various points that could like kind of be perceived like that. So it's like, meh. I feel like they did like some amount of a diversity quota, but the way that they did it was like
Dummy.
Yeah, like,
Well, I
look,
feel like that
like it
kind of counts as like a bad point of like bigotry.
well, yeah,
But
it's like,
also, I'm not letting go of the pink cow horns. You guys say it's an accident, but I am not letting go of them. Cows do not have pink horns just because they're female. They never have pink horns.
It
Unless
was
someone freaking painted the cow horns. I
so.
don't think the cows would care, but they don't come with pink horns.
So with their
I
flower, which one?
I would put it at 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I feel like 3 is probably the best because, like, on one hand, they at least like a part of me wants to give like a fucking you tried star for like you tried to add diversity, you just happened to do it in the most offensive way possible somehow.
I feel like
Welcome back 20%. This is on par for the worst one. This is a worst one tie.
Yeah.
let me grab the star very quickly. Actually, don't we have it as a sticker?
Yeah.
I'll just use the sticker.
Anyways, usually I would right now, but I am very tired.
Yeah. But yeah, Bright, real quick, can you scroll back to earlier in the document? Yeah, so this is on par with 589 and 673. It's a 3-way tie for the worst video they've made thus far.
Yeah.
Anyways, going to innings soon now. Jury, last words go.
I want to scream. I need to pee. I cannot scream until I pee.
Anyways, Hatchet, last words go.
If I was better at doing it, I would have tried to make a haiku about how much pain I'm in. But bleh. Go watch the Vulcan.
Yeah, I agree.
Watch someone else. Don't watch this.
Watch,
This content insults your intelligence. It looks you in the eye and says, "You're stupid. You're an idiot.
okay.
You're willing to settle for this."
Okay, there actually was a recent, what I thought was a SCP content farm. It was on my radar, but usually when I go to look and see if it's a content farm, I watch a video first to see if it actually is a content farm.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting. They may sometimes leave out maybe a little bit information because it's an older video. But, basically, you know those old projectors for old cartoons that, like, it does, like, slide per slide for an animation? Like, the really old things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, they read and show the article through that projector. They actually read the article itself. So I was like, okay, well, there's no point in putting this under my radar if they do what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So yeah, so them, I think their name is SCP Orientation. What go them as well as Mr. Illustrated. Mr. Illustrated is really good. If people don't know, Mr. Illustrated is also known as SCP Illustrated. The one who made all that fantastic art.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, my final words is I'm fucking tired. I'm not sure it's because I'm sick, or narcolepsy, or this farm. I'm tired. Hope to see you guys tomorrow, where I kill KFC chickens. And, yeah, and, see you guys next time for your next mission, Day Tornadoes, and, you don't get weird words, because I'm too tired. Bye.